Yunwu's neck extended to a pair of shoulder neckline. Was cut a long hole, a bloodstain stained with blood red oozing from there. Shenguanshong did not go further, but just stood there, looking at the white figure from far to near. Dragon Qing evil figure in a flash to the moment, white brush, coat directly set in the cloud dance body. Covered her half-do snow muscle and wound. Are you all right? Deep concern voice, very light brush cloud dance ear side. Cloud dance as if did not feel the shoulder that tear open wound, the corner of the mouth outlined. I'm okay, you're done? Well. Shenguanshong's gloomy eyes looked at the dragon. When he saw his golden eyes, a strange undercurrent flashed by. It's the young master of the evil family. The little master of the evil family? Is this man the little lord of the evil clan that the five-star society has been looking for? Three old men smell speech. That in the eyes all swept a surprised undercurrent, however not surprised. In the original image, Yunwu and Longqingxi were originally the same. However, the appearance in the image at that time was obviously not the handsome and evil appearance in front of us. When the dragon heard the evil words, the evil spirits in the corners of his mouth were full of evil. It seems that the master of the beast sect has good eyesight. On the half-destroyed face of Shenguanshong, he opened his smile and said, Is that right? It's a normal conversation. But the next second, be careful. Cloud dance eyes a cold, Guwu de Daoling clenched. But before her hand, the deep magnetic voice of the evil spirit of Long Qingxia swept past her ears. With your man, you stay quiet. When the black-robed figure of Shenguanshong came, the white figure of Longqingxi had already passed by. In an instant, I saw a black and a white to the light, set off a fierce collision in mid-air. Flying two to the light, very fast and strong. In the air constantly fight, fierce murderous gas instantly shot out in the air. Sharp Yuanli spread most of the air, strong breath. See Cloud Dance can't help but heart up. However, Cloud Dance did not have any hesitation. Hongling, a drink heart message. Hongling, who was watching the battle on one side, was like being beaten with chicken blood. The original huge and ferocious shape suddenly turned into countless willows, and opened to the surrounding Baichao Hall. Many of them, with little cannibals, attacked the three old men. When the three old men entangled each other, the cloud-dancing figure immediately wrapped up with wind elements and quickly flew over the sky. 10,000 Beast Gate is outside the protective cover. Shengguan, Nanganji, Yiqiz, Situlan and even Zhou Feiyu were there. 5 people are concentrated in one position, attacking the same point with all their strength, as if trying to break the shield. Get out of the way. Cloud dance in the air, a loud cry. The 5 people outside the shield didn't actually hear any sound, but they all backed away tacitly. Yunwu's hands turn up, water element and fire element spring up from her palm in a moment. Her hands snap together and the 2 elements merge. But in the next second, wind element spring up. Cloud dance didn't even think about it. Suddenly, it buckled the wind element towards the double element ball of water and fire. The strong repulsion is spread in Yunwu's hands and heart, which makes Yunwu tingle all over. But that's what Cloud Dance wants. Feel the 3 elements together, and produce incomparable repulsion, catch up with more and more intense. Cloud Dance didn't even think about it. She took out the last drop of Shenguanshong's blood from the space, and put it into the element ball. Suddenly, she quickly threw the element ball that she had just snapped into her hand towards the point where Shenguanshong was attacked. Boom! An explosion, accompanied by the earth shaking, suddenly set off over the whole Beast Gate. I saw that the explosion in mid-air aroused countless Mars, and a terrible aftershock. Outside the protective cover, Shengguan and others seemed to feel the shock from the protective cover. Damn, Xiaowu's element ball is too powerful. Why didn't she use it before? Yes, I knew Xiaowu had such a move. Let's just let her drop a few of them. Why use her sucking strength to smash them here? Situlan's eyes brightened, and looked at the crack that appeared on the transparent cover under the explosion of the element ball. It seems very exciting. However, Nangong Yi's face sank. The integration of 3 elements will exhaust her too much power, and you see. As soon as Nangong Yi's words fell, the original crack healed quickly under a strange black fog. When Shengguan and others saw him, his face changed. What are you doing? Attack quickly. Seeing this, Zhou Feiyu almost instantly aroused his whole body's strength, and without hesitation, he immediately attacked the healing crack. Shangguan and others reacted and quickly attacked again. However, the crack seems to have no change. Still in the rapid healing, the integration of the three elements obviously consumed Yuan Li, which was known before Cloud Dance, so generally she would not take such a risk. But if you can break that shield, it's worth the trip. But when he saw that after the aftershocks of the bombing subsided, the cracked book was healing, and Yunwu's face also changed. I didn't expect you to know how to integrate elements. You really surprise me more and more. At this moment, a voice came from behind. The Cloud Dance heart is startled. Turn round instantly. Shangguanzhong didn't know when he was standing behind her. He was so close that he could kill her, but she didn't have time to react. She didn't feel his approach? This is the most terrible thing. Originally, I wanted to be gentle with you, but you have chosen this road yourself, so you have to bear your own choice. Shangguanzhong said in a gloomy voice, but there was a strange anger in his eyes. It seems that the steady breath becomes fierce in an instant. The black fog around him became thicker and thicker, and the clouds that came into contact with it seemed to be stopped. Suddenly, Shangguanzhong's cold hand quickly grabbed at Yunwu's neck. Brush! A cold light came, with a strange dark light. Shangguanzhong originally stretched out his hand, but he didn't avoid it. He was shot through by the dagger. Yunwu wants to take the opportunity to retreat, but the black fog imprisons her action strangely. Damn it! What the hell is this Shangguanzhong? But at this time, a hug suddenly came from his waist. As soon as he turned around, his body was taken away from the black fog of Shangguanzhong. You little thing, you are becoming more and more disobedient. The magnetic voice came from my ear. Yunwu turns to look at the man around him, but when he sees the mess on his body, his heart suddenly trembles. I saw that there were many wounds on his body, which didn't look very serious. However, those wounds were stained by black fog, and they were cracked and couldn't heal. This is as like as two peas in the dark night. No, it's not the same. There was erosion in the black fog of Shangguanzhong. I didn't find it. I found that the wound of Longqingxi was stained with black blood of carrion. Damn it. Cloud Dance's face couldn't help looking ugly. But soon, Yunwu almost subconsciously opened his white coat, revealing the wound on his shoulder. No erosion. Cloud Dance saw blood red on his wound, no black blood carrion. Obviously was not eroded by the black fog. As a flash of light flashed through my mind. As soon as I turned over my hand, I immediately grasped a dagger in my hand. Without any hesitation, the blade has passed his other hand. What are you doing? Long Qingxia frowned. However, Yunwu didn't say anything. As soon as he stretched out his hand, he put it on the wounds on his body. Hiss! A very subtle, but apparently fried zizi sound came from the wounds of Long Qingxia. Severe pain attack on the dragon, as if by the oil roll in general. But Long Qingxia didn't do anything. She just looked at the cloud quietly, and let her hand touch the wound on his body, and let the pain of Canthus wash away. He believed her completely, and when the pain slowly receded, the original tear-like pain on the wound actually felt gradually began to heal itching. Long Qingxia was stunned and looked down at the wound on his body. It seems that the blind cat really hit the dead mouse. Cloud Dance looks at the wound that Dragon Qing Evil is healing gradually. Can't help but hook up the corner of the mouth. Unexpectedly, the blood on her body could eliminate the corrosion of the black fog on Shangguanzhong. On the other side, Shangguanzhong looks at Yunwu's action and his eyes shrink. It seems unexpected that she should find the efficacy of her blood. But he didn't do it. Instead, he lowered his head and looked at the dark dagger that was inserted on the back of his hand. There was no pain on his face, but his eyes were more and more angry. The power of darkness. While the dagger twitched from the back of his hand, dark red blood oozing. But in the twinkling of an eye, the wound on the back of his hand was completely healed. If it's not on the back of his hand, there is still a little dark red blood. I thought the wound on his hand was an illusion. Cloud Dance and Dragon Poor Evil to see his that healing ability. All not from the bottom of the heart sink a few minutes. That healing ability, too fast. Moreover, no matter what kind of wounds were made on him, He didn't seem to feel any pain at all. This Shangguanshong is too weird and terrifying. Cloud Dance looked at the Shangguanshong, couldn't help squinting his eyes, the solemnity of the undercurrent in his eyes. You say cut off his head. Can he still heal? Cloud Dance asked softly. I'm afraid he won't give it. Long Qingxia's magnetic voice also gently brushed her ear. Boom. At this time, the underground, hungling a pair of three entangled the three old men, seems to be more and more difficult. Cloud Dance takes back the line of sight, frowned to stare at that upper official grave, low voice way. Forget to tell you, the last drop of blood has just used. If you want to leave, you have to take blood from Shangguanshong instead of killing it. But if you want to kill Shangguanshong, it's obvious that it's impossible for them to work together. The evil spirit of Long Qingxia's mouth rose, and his wound didn't heal completely. However, he liked the smell of blood. In that case, we can only take it by ourselves. At the end of the speech, an épée suddenly flew out of his hand. Good. Cloud Dance that corner of the mouth also a hook, the ancient martial arts big knife instantly grasped in the hand, the sharp breath diffuses. Two people fight side by side, giving people a sense of incomparable harmony. Before me, after you. If you get blood, you can withdraw. As soon as the dragon's evil words fell, his figure flashed quickly and went straight to the ice of the Inked Knight. From the beginning, Shangguanshong seems to give people a feeling of not slow and not tight. Maybe he thinks that entering the family of 10,000 beasts is like a turtle in a jar. Let's see what tricks they can play. This kind of mentality is actually a kind of monkey play. Of course, Long Qingxia and Yunwu naturally don't know his mentality. Shangguanshong looks at the evil dragon. His eyes are as deep as a black hole. He can't see any emotion fluctuation. But at the moment when Dragon's evil attack came, his dark and foggy figure was in vain. In the twinkling of an eye, his cold fingers had caught the épée attacked by Long Qingxia. Just a little push. Click. The épée made a cracking sound on the spot. Brush. Shangguanshong suddenly had a backhand, and the truncated blade suddenly turned around and suddenly attacked a position behind him. Dragon Qingxia saw this moment. His face suddenly changed, almost subconsciously called out. Get out of the way! Originally hidden in the elements of space, Yunwu, who was ready to attack from behind, also changed his face and dodged. But the broken sword, however, did not give Yunwu any chance to dodge. What's more, it also pierces the space elements that enter her body. Poof! The sound of the knife into the flesh. Yunwu's body, like a heavy blow, was directly broken out of the element space and flew out towards the ground. This scene, as the number of the protection of the sky outside the Shangguan several people in the eye. Little 5. Little dance. Cloud dance. Exclamations filled the air outside. One by one, they want to rush down, but they can't get close to the scope of the shield at that moment. The dragon's face changed, and his golden eyes seemed to be filled with blood, becoming ferocious and violent. Bang. A crashing sound, accompanied by the dust on the ground raised. On the ground, the redling, who was still entangled with the three old men, seemed to be stiff and stopped. She looked straight at the direction where Yunwu fell. Master. The dust dispersed, originally anxiously looking at several people, but all Zhenglong for a while, including the three old men who were entangled by Hongling. See, Cloud Dance rubs the position of the chest, breathed heavily to embrace a potato, slowly stand up from the ground. And just that stab to her chest of broken sword. At this time is inserted in a round potato above. Little guy, are you okay? Cloud Dance patted a ball-like potato in her arms. The strength that just hit Shangguanshong is really strong. If it wasn't for the sudden appearance of the little potato in her arms and the subsequent moves of Hyo that blocked most of her actions, she would have been ended by a broken sword. No, it's fake. However, Yunwu was surprised that the little guy who had been in her space suddenly came out to replace her broken sword. Click, click. All of a sudden, some kind of sound of nibbling on steel sounded. When people see clearly how it is going on, one by one suddenly some silly eyes. I saw that the little guy who was just a round potato suddenly cracked a sharp tooth from the position of the broken sword, and chewed along the blade bit by bit. Click, click. When the gnawing sound disappeared, The broken sword, which had been inserted in the potato, had already disappeared in Zhang Li's mouth. At this time, the round potato stretched out the round short fat hands and feet, and the fat little head. It's not delicious. Little red tongue licked his lips, little mouth pouted like discontent, staring at Yunwu and spitting out 3 words. Not good. The cloud dances and hears the speech. It's a burst of crying and laughing. Is it difficult? It just came out to block the sword for her, just to find something to eat? But when Shangguanzhang saw the little warcraft in her arms, there was a sudden change in her gloomy face. How did you get the cubs of the poor monster? You've been to the lower level of the base. In the dark eyes of Shangguanzhang, a touch of unbelievable uneasiness finally appeared. His cold hands were clenched into fists. No way. The only poor and strange beast in the world has been dead for thousands of years. He has spent most of his energy to wake up the poor and strange beast. How can there be poor and strange cubs? However, the cub appeared in front of his eyes, which cannot be fake. How could she let the poor beast's cubs sacrifice their lives to save each other? How can it be? The poor beast is poor monster? Why do you think that name is so familiar? By the way, on Earth, there seems to be a myth of 4 fierce beasts, and one of them seems to have a poor strange. It's just that this potato-like little guy in her arms is really that fierce beast? No way. Girl, what are you doing? Let's go. At this time, Black proud voice from Cloud Dance in mind. Now, not only has Hayo's strength not been restored, but also he is imprisoned in the Chaos Palace. Even if he can get a phantom, his strength will be greatly reduced. He can't be the opponent of Shangguanzhang. The girl also made such a small beast out, which was playing with fire. But in the black AO that words fall, there is no chance to Cloud Dance reaction. Shangguanzhang's mood seems to have been changed. His face is ferocious and gloomy, and his figure moves strangely. In the twinkling of an eye, the figure came to Yunwu. Brush. Did not give anyone the opportunity to react. Cold hands into claws, straight to the shoulder of Cloud Dance. The other hand caught the little warcraft in her arms. Little potato. Dragon Qing Xie's eyes sank. At the same time, his body quickly flashed. Yuan Li Ning grew up with a sword, and went straight to the claw attacking the cloud. Bang! The collision of the sharp tools aroused the half-star spark. I'm looking for death. Shangguanzhang's eyes flashed with impatience. The black fog suddenly raised. The claws were strange, and they ran straight through Longqingxi's body. You just want to die. You want to hurt my man in front of me. You think I'm dead. Cloud Dance reflected that at the moment, Guwu broadsword split away. Bang! In an instant, 3 lights collided. The strong breath spread around all of a sudden. The strong breath surprised the black-robed people and the 3 old men. That's their most powerful patriarch. How can they let those 2 younger generation entangle each other? Seeing that her master was so brave, Hongling was unwilling to fall behind. Gaga, I'm just hungry too. The ferocious branches spread all around. When they saw those black-robed people coming, they suddenly separated countless branches, quietly sneaked away, ready to attack directly when these black-robed people were surprised. By the way, I'll get some teeth-beating sacrifices to recover my strength. Oh, it's cannibal. Use fire quickly. I just used it, but I didn't. Not only here, but also in many directions, the whole beast gate is being trampled and destroyed by several contract beasts. They don't care what they are, but when they see what can be smashed or destroyed, they will do it to their heart's content. As for the people who stop the beast gate, if they can fight, they will fight. If they can't win, they will run. Anyway, they can do damage while running. However, not only the other side of the fight is also the same lively. The sun has just set and the night has just arrived. Qingyong City, Thundergate. Outside the courtyard surrounded by stones, there are figures hiding the breath as far as possible, all of them lurking from all sides of the street. Silent one by one seems to be a touch of ghosts in general. In order not to attract anyone's attention, these people are wearing ordinary clothes. If it wasn't for those sharp eyes, just looking at their clothes and faces, no one would think that these people were the well-trained lower mortal troops. In less than 2 years, the strength of these people has reached the strength of Wuxing at least, and even some of them have broken through the level of Wuzuan. These strengths, if put in the original lower bound, will definitely make people feel idiotic. In 2 years from the strength of the class, it leaped to the rank of Wuxing or even Wuzuan. What does that mean? Needless to say, it is estimated that in the eyes of people in the lower world, it is simply the existence of madness. Captain, we are all here. A low voice came from a seemingly ordinary man. Gao Yu nodded, stretched out his hand, and made a unique gesture towards the silent team. At this time, Gao Yu just turned to look at the Lingxian sky around him. Has the cold water arrived? Make Xian Tianmu swept around, tiny shake head. Don't know, those people are cloud dance training with ghost-like, can't feel their existence at all. Not waiting? Or should we act first? Gao Yu asked. Although he was the leader of the team, he did not know when he formed the habit of asking the military advisor for advice. Make Xian Dai frown to meditate for a while. Wait a moment, we can't miss this time. With the cold water team, this place has a better chance of winning. This time, the target is the Thunder Gate, which is respected by the upper world. Although they have only been in the upper boundary for some time, they have also made some investigations on the status and strength of the upper boundary. This time of action, we must go all out, can't let miss down. After hearing this, Gao Yu nodded, and was about to make a waiting gesture to the soldiers lurking around. Suddenly, a dark shadow passed in front of my eyes. Before Gao Yu and others reacted, the cold figure stood in front of them. Gao Yu's face turned black when he saw someone coming. White water, can you stop floating out all the time? I want to scare people to death. Gao Yu clenched his teeth in a low voice and glared at the white water in black clothes. In fact, there was a flash of surprise in my heart. I haven't seen him for a few days. His strength has improved again. Is he an assassin or a ghost? White clear water hears speech, but just cold of glanced at him one eye, then turned the vision to Make Xian Dai body. How are you going to act? Make Xian Dai to see and eye him. The person all arrived together? If you get there, follow the plan. After hearing the words, Bai Qingshui didn't say anything. In a flash, the shadow just in front of the crowd disappeared into the dim night. Damn, is he a human or a ghost? Gao Yu muttered again. If it's not for frequent contact during this period, it will really make people feel like a ghost. No matter what, it's gone. Make Xian Dai mouth corner slightly yawn, also low a voice. This is her ability, as long as the person that trains out from her hand can be ordinary ability? Not only Gao Yu, but also the soldiers who were lurking behind him nodded their heads. Yes, if it wasn't for Miss Nine, they would not have learned so much, let alone entered the upper bound. At the thought of this, the worship of Gao Yu and others seemed to deepen unconsciously. In a moment, in the dark night, dozens of strange shadows appeared from the corners of the trees outside the stone wall. If we don't observe carefully, we can't find out at all. The outside and the sky of the gate are shrouded by spiritual power. The only entrance to the gate is the stone gate guarded by the 2 guards. Brush! Brush! All of a sudden, the subtle sound of 2 invisible sharp weapons cutting through the air swept by. The 2 guards didn't know what was going on, so they were stabbed and broke their necks. At the moment when the 2 guards fell to the ground, dozens of dark shadows passed like ghosts. No one could see clearly at all. Those figures had disappeared at the entrance. It's like a ghost. Lurking outside was Gao Yu. After a murmur, he immediately raised his hand and made a gesture in the void. Just as the gesture had just fallen, hundreds of figures had already sneaked to the entrance of the gate. Gao Yu got up and was ready to enter. He had a good show. Wait a minute. Make Xian Tian reach out and stop Gao Yu. What's the matter? You stay. What? Shall I stay? Gao Yu frowned when he heard the words. Well, if you take 100 people with you and stay here, we need you to save our way, besides cutting off the back road of the people of Peihongmen. Make Xian Dai voice low deep say. This time I don't think it's that simple. Whatever the situation, it's always right to be thoughtful. Gao Yu is the leader of the war. He prefers to fight on the battlefield and sprinkle his blood on the battlefield. However, in the eyes of the Xiantian, I don't know why, he seems to understand the worry in his heart. Peace. Second, Gao Yu grins, and suddenly reaches out his hand and claps it on the shoulder of Ling Xiantian. He says seriously, Brother, don't worry, I'm here. Make Xiande also reach out to clap up his shoulder. Take care. It seems that everything has been expressed from the moment of clapping on the shoulder. Go. A moment later, there was a fierce fight in the gate. Originally orderly, the Thunder Gate was in chaos under the sudden attack. Make Xiande will lead the soldiers, according to the plan from the outside into, with Whitewater Assassin Corps inside and outside cooperation. For a moment, there was a feeling of being defeated in the gate. Who are you? At this time, where does the Thunder Gate still look as high as before? Now the leading deputy sect leader, and some of the leading sects are holding the bloody hands tightly. His black robe is in a state of disrepair. There are still several wounds on his body. The blood is not flowing continuously. It is obvious that he is seriously injured. What are these people who come out of the blue? Their strength is obvious. They don't feel very strong, but they have a strange assassination skill, which makes them suffer a lot. In the upper world, what faction can have such a strange assassin? Ah! There was another scream. A guard of the Thunder Gate flew in from the door. Make Xiande lead the well-trained soldier, quickly from that four sides encircle but come. Immediately surround the main affairs hall of the Thunder Gate. When the deputy door master looked at the bodyguard on the ground, his eyes suddenly shrank. Witchcraft? The bodyguard was witched? How can it be? Only the witches can know how to use it. How can Ling Xiantian, Bai Qingshui, and some of the assassins and soldiers stand around? Along the way they kill people when they see them. But along the way, they find that there are not hundreds of people in the gate. It's really weird for such a big gate. However, since we have come in, we must at least destroy the Thunder Gate. You are the witch people? Deputy Door Lord shocked looking at the situation in front of him. But soon his eyes are a little gloomy, staring at Ling Xuanshan and others. Do you know that this is the gate of Peihong? If you dare to provoke, you will be ready to be destroyed. Although there are many dead bodies in the gate, it seems to be a shell that has been evacuated. However, the authority and power of Peihong men can't be fooled by some unknown characters. Bai Qingshui looked coldly at the master of the door. A touch of disdain flashed in his eyes and said with a sneer, "Destroy? Today is the day of destruction." By Qingshui's words, unexpectedly that pair of door masters' heart bottom trembles. It seems to me that the assassins just brought by Qingshui are killing people like ghosts and cutting rice seedlings. Who is your master? I want to talk to him. The doorman straightened up and said coldly, "In the upper bound, they are the representatives of identity. If it's not just that they happen to take most of the people out of the sect, how can these little characters break into their Peihong Gate? It's like killing every minute." However, the bottom of my heart cannot help but feel surprised. The martial arts and killing skills of these people are strange and hateful. It's clear that these people are the most powerful, but they didn't damage any of them. In a short time, they almost washed the door of Peihong. Although there are only 100 people in the gate, they are all low-level guards. But the strange speed of these people's killing is really terrible. Who are these people? Don't talk to him. He's stalling on purpose. Make Xiande suddenly cold mouthway. There is no any mercy in the eye. Entering the gate, you can feel that there are too few bodyguards in the gate, and the powerful ones are not present. However, it can also take advantage of the emptiness of the gate to complete the task of Cloud Dance. Destroy this Thunder Gate. Make Xuantian's voice fall. White clear water naturally understand his meaning in that words. In a moment, the sword in his hand was a ling. The assassin and the soldier immediately aroused Yuan Li to attack several people in the hall. It seemed that the master knew that he couldn't delay his time, so he roared, "If you really want to die, I'll let you try to provoke the end of the Thunder Gate." Other several leaders, eyes suddenly cold, breath set off. Make Xiande hand a turn. Black goo instantly congeals from his hand but comes out. Next second already volley the sky to brush. Just when the black bug attacked the leaders of the Thunder Gate, suddenly, a more powerful energy gushed out from the place where the three fell down, and directly collided with the black bug. Boom. Under the sound of an explosion, sparks suddenly splashed in the hall. Zizi. The sound of burning, accompanied by a stench spread in the living room. "Sir, bring people to kill me at the gate of Peihong. I wonder if anyone has asked me if Liao Zongtian has killed me. A voice that sounds like a gentle voice came from a distance. After a while, sea that was originally covered by the spirit of the sky, spirit suddenly disappeared, and a 40-year-old middle-aged man, a robe-like elegant flying. This man is no other than Liao Zongtian. White clear water with make Xiande etc. Under hearing, all turn a head toward the outside that half sky saw one eye, the eye ground is cold alert. Master Liao. Make Xiande long of spit out these words, the mood is insipid. Liao Zongtian just stood in the air, and the sharp eyes looked at the open Lingxian sky. For a moment, the corner of his mouth suddenly outlined a smile. You are a witch. That is a positive word. It seems that Liao Zongtian's eyes are poisonous. He can see the identity of Ling Xiantian at a glance. However, when Liao Zongtian sweeps by Qing Shui and the assassins and soldiers around him, he is surprised. You are from the lower world. You can enter the border and enter the upper world. It seems that your master is not simple. After Liao Zongtian's words fell, all the people who were still alive in the gate were shocked. What? Are all the people who almost washed the gate of Peihong tonight from the lower world? Oh my God, people in the lower world, they didn't hear me wrong, did they? These people who make them scared are actually from the lower world? The people of the lower world not only ran to the upper world, but also slaughtered the people of the upper world. Moreover, it was they who broke through the gate of Peihong. Is this day going to be reversed? However, the people in Peihongmen have seen the world after all. Although they were shocked, they soon gathered their emotions. Liao Zongtian the attacker arched his hand. Master, you are back. These people. However, without waiting for the man in black to finish speaking, Liao Zongtian suddenly made a sharp eye and swept down. Is that all you have? Who else is qualified to be the head of the Thunder Gate? The voice was calm, but it was cold. Yes, ask the sect leader to confess. Language of fall. See that pair of door lord etc. immediately respectfully hang head. Liao Zongtian coldly glances at them, and then turns his attention to Ling Xiantian, and by Qing Shui. Tell me, what's your purpose in coming here this time to bloody wash our gate? Liao Zongtian's voice is calm, and his breath is more restrained. If we hadn't done the investigation before, I'm afraid we would have thought that Liao Zong was a good upright person. It's blood washing. What else can we have? By Qing Shui has a cold voice. But the meaning is very clear. Yes. I don't know who your master is. At least, we can let the people who died in the gate know who killed them, right? Liao Zongtian said it mildly. If you want to know who our master is, just go to the Hell Hall and ask. Bai Qingshui's words are tinged with coldness and arrogance. And the assassin regiment and soldiers on the scene have a clear attitude. They want to talk from them and dream. Hearing this, Liao Zongtian could not pretend to be a gentleman, and his eyes became colder and colder. Very good. Liao Zongtian's face sank. Then you go to the Hell Hall and tell my men who your master is. As soon as the words fall, the strong breath is like a net in the sky. The swift and violent attack of Xiantian and Baiqingshui. Do it. Bai Qingshui and others had been ready for a long time. In an instant, they saw the assassin regiment and soldiers on the scene spread out quickly and incomparably. With a tacit attack array, he made a counterattack on Liao Zongtian, who came from the half-air raid. Boom. Powerful force collision sound, once again accompanied by the sound of killing. And outside the stone gate, Gao Yu is also against the large number of subordinates brought back by Liao Zongtian. Get out of the way. You little characters dare to rebel at the gate of the Thunder Gate. You are really looking for death. A leading black-robed man squints dangerously at Gao Yu's 100 people. His words reveal infinite killing intention and sneer. Well, who's the one who's looking for death? Gao Yu said coldly. Gao Yu's words made the black-robed man sink his face directly. He didn't even bother to disguise his smile. Kill me. Under the roar, a large number of people at the gate of the Thunder Gate set off the fierce force, and directly directed at Gao Yu and others who were blocked outside the stone gate. Chong Chong. The real battlefield set off at this moment. The smell of blood will soon rise in the sky above the gate. Whether it's inside or outside, it's doomed to be everywhere tonight. On the other side, the Shangguan Five, who were still trying to break the shield, were suddenly attacked by the beast gate. When I saw the person brought by Shangguan calendar, Shangguan and others seemed not surprised at all. Shangguan, do you know that this is our family? Even if you betray the clan, you still bring people to attack? Shangguanli looks at Shangguan. His face is very ugly. There was an undercurrent in Shangguan's eyes, but it was soon replaced by a touch of coldness. If I had a choice, I would rather not be an official. You. Shangguanli was so angry that his chest ached, and his eyes were filled with anger. Well, well, you son of a bitch, today I skinned you, and I'll take your surname. What's his last name? It's not the same surname as Shangguan. That's the same as not saying it. When Shangguanli finished, he immediately turned his head and yelled angrily at the 100 men he had brought behind him. What are you still doing? Kill all these people and tie the rebellious son to me. Yes, all of a sudden, hundreds of black-robed people's strong breaths suddenly raised, and immediately attacked Shangguan and others. Shangguan, when you get to the upper boundary, your father can really exist everywhere. Situ Lan and Yuan Li raised the moment, can't help joking said a word. Shangguan couldn't help staring at him, but the sword still came out. Nanganji, Zhou Feiyu and Yiqi's are not talking nonsense. Yuan Li starts to fight back. But several people's attention, or from time to time in the attention of the following battle. From sunset to night, the Battle of Yunwu seems to be more and more difficult. The people of Wanwoman have already set out, and even Hongling and other contract animals have begun to gather together to resist. This battle is about to come to an end. However, at this time, they are all procrastinating, just for there can be enough time at the gate. However, in the bloody fight, Shangguanli seems to be completely infuriated by his son, and says a word without hesitation. Don't think that the patriarch doesn't know what you're thinking. It's not so easy for you to destroy the Thunder Gate. Today, the Beast Gate will kill you all. Damn it. If the people of the Beast Gate know that their target is the Gate of Thunder and Flood, then this plan, Yiqi's please. In the fight, Nangong Yi suddenly says something to the cold woman. Night Chi color smell speech. Cold Mao Sun saw South Temple E one eye, what words all didn't say, but seemed to understand his meaning. I saved your life alive. Cold words, after falling, see her figure, suddenly strange broke through the beast door surrounded, disappeared in the mid-air cloud top. The killing continues. Thundergate. The smell of killing is full of, and everyone's body is the mark of blood baptism, scarlet with bloodbath. In the distance, there are more and more people in the Peihong Gate and the Beast Gate, and their killing intention is more and more fierce. Ling Xiantian looked at the people of the fast-coming Beast Gate. His forehead was tightly wrinkled. He looked back at the elite soldiers behind him. Everyone looked cautious and slightly tired. The strength of Peihong men can't be underestimated. I thought it was an opportunity, but I didn't expect that the people who came out of the Gate of Thunder and Flood would return the people from the Gate of Beasts. If we go on like this, we will lose both sides. Don't think of anything superfluous. The Thunder Gate must disappear in the upper boundary. In the distance came the cold voice of White Water. Make Xiande hang Mao a moment, tiny jawhead, again throw into battle. This time their task is to destroy the Thunder Gate. After so long cultivation, how can their first task end in failure? This time, they have seen the strength of Peihong men. Even they are hard to deal with. If this Thunder Gate continues to work for the Beast Gate in the future, they will always have to escape passively. For the hope of the sorcerer and for the cloud dance, we can only live forever. Make Xian Tianmu light a cold hand fight out. The distant flame-burning red fire spread quickly. Several people of the Thunder Gate instant into coke. Zizi make a sound. Endless killing, rivers of blood, corpses everywhere, blood reflected in the air. Blue sky also add a trace of scarlet. Suddenly, a strange color bloomed in the bloody sky. It was like a phoenix flying in the sky, showing different colors, hovering in the sky, and disappeared in a short time. Seeing this scene, the elite troops and the killer corps were stunned. The signal is coming. It's time to retreat. Make Xiande remnant shadow arrive at white clear waterside. The facial expression has no because can retreat and have a silk to stretch. Yes, the signal is coming. It's overwhelming. They have to retreat. But make Xian the sky looking at to have not yet destroyed of the thunder floodgate. Complexion. Return is not to return? White clear water didn't speak, he thought, and make Xian day happen to coincide. He is also considering whether to retreat. Just give them a little more time. Now that they've retired, all the plans are in vain. Those who don't retreat will soon arrive. You retreat, leave the rest to me. Just when they couldn't make up their minds, a cold voice came from the sky. It was a woman in red, holding a snake sword and looking extremely cold. Make Xian Day White clear water mutually gaze one eye, at the same time nod. Retreat. Some people can tell whether they are friends or enemies at a glance. Just like Qi Yi's, she is not a schemer. The elite troops quickly gathered to retreat, and ordered Xiantian to set up several stone formations to stop the pursuers of the Thundergate. The killer regiment immediately disappeared when they heard the order to retreat. Now the people who are fighting with Pei Hongmen are a group of people in black, who are brought by Qi Yi's. At the moment when he disappeared in the gate, Bai Qingshui looked back at Qi Yi's. Looking at the falling people in the gate, he had a pale mouth. It seems that he is a person who can be entrusted. All of a sudden his face changed. He covered his chest with his left hand. He looked a little painful and disappeared. In this battle, they are not as relaxed as they seem, and their bodies have been unable to bear it for a long time. Although even if this woman does not appear, they will choose to solve the problem as soon as possible and leave safely, but this is still the best, and it can be regarded as an indirect completion of the task. According to the prior agreement, no matter whether the characters succeed or not, Xiantian and Baiqingshui will take a group of people directly back to the lower world. This time there has been such a big stir in the upper boundary. The major forces in the upper boundary will certainly regard them as eyesores and targets of attraction. There will be a steady stream of troubles, but the most important thing is that the troops need time to recuperate. People leave, heart cloud dance, master's words, certainly can. In the cave. When Shangguan and Nanganji find Yunwu's signal bomb, they dress as if they are defeated. They retreat one after another, looking for opportunities to retreat. Behind them are Wanwoman and Shangguanli, who are in hot pursuit. Shangguan, stand back for me. In the tunnel of the mountain cave, a scold with anger came. Shangguanli looked at Shangguan, who was retreating one after another, and then looked at the corpse under his hands. His eyes were full of anger, and the darkness around him was more gloomy. If he was not afraid of hurting Shangguan, he would have been entangled with them for so long and lost so many people. This is what Long Qingxie expected. Shangguan is the only one of the 10,000 beasts, which he used just right. But now it seems that this benefit has been used up, and it's time to leave. Shangguan stopped to look at Shangguanli. Father, do you really want to push me to the end? What he said was extremely painful, but there was a strange light in his eyes. Come on. Take the young master back as long as he's still breathing. Yes, as long as the Shangguan has a breath, he can make him come alive. The reason why we didn't start is that the father-son relationship has started to break down. With a single order, people immediately behind Shangguanli swarmed on. The strength of those people was absolutely above them. Shangguan Nangongi nodded and looked into the air. They should have finished their retreat, right? Father, I'm afraid I let you down again. A touch of uninhibited voice, a drop. Two figures fell sharply, instantly disappeared in front of people, disappeared. Shangguan's eyes were very cold. The family of beasts. Circling, the blade breath is like a scythe, with strong momentum, constantly rotating and destroying. Be careful. A slightly rapid magnetic sound from behind the cloud. Bang! At the moment when Yunwu turned around, a black shadow flew out in front of her eyes, and the white figure fell to her side. With such an extremely evil smile, the evil face passed by her ears. We can leave now. A very shallow voice passed in her ear, only the two of them could hear it. Cloud dance nods, smile can't help but emerge. Eyes look a soft, looking back at a few little guys are fighting, they are now more difficult to deal with. When Shangwenshong learned that her target was the Thundergate, he sent his hand to support it. Wave after wave of beastmen are blocked by several small families. Even if they are very strong, they will not be able to bear it for a long time. Fortunately, her goal has been achieved and she retired after success. No way. A very cold and angry voice rang out, and the dark breath rolled in with the edge. Shangguanzhong seems to be aware of Yunwu's intention, and makes a more strange move to deal with Yunwu and Longqingxi. This attack, let two people dare not take lightly. Shangguan's sect leader. Have you abandoned your leisureness? Yunwu sneered back. At the moment, Shangguanzhong is no longer as calm as it was just now. It looks like a lion king who is angered. It's a bit messy. Your mother has been waiting for you for a long time. With a low roar, Shangguanzhong opened his palm with a dark breath. All of a sudden, the whole beast door underground a boom of dull sound, like waves hit, with the destruction of all the oppressive force. Go the sword eyebrows of Dragon Qingxia wrinkled, and the willow waist of Cloud Dance was encircled. In a moment, it opened a few feet. Cloud Dance eyes color slightly cold. We'll be fighting a few guys backspace, away from the embrace of Dragon Qing evil. Use the power to rob. Is he tired too? Did you get the blood? Cloud Dance looks at the dragon. Long Qingxia shook his head, showing a smile. For the husband said to go, just to escape from the scope of his attack. Cloud Dance can't help but look at him, but he knows that Shangguanzhong knows they've got his blood. This time he's more cautious. It's even more difficult to get his blood again. It's a small thing not to get blood. It's a big thing how to get out. The protective cover of the Beast Gate is composed of 5 elements. She has seen the power of the 5 elements. If you break through, you will die. Want to go? The corner of Shangguanzhong's tight mouth suddenly appeared a strange smile. Boom. All of a sudden, the whole surface split into cracks. The crack instantly spread to the boundless, and the strange is that the crack, actually rising with the dark breath. Cloud Dance looked at the body of the dark haze weird increasing, looked suddenly surprised. Damn it, from such a distance, she could feel the strange edge of the dark atmosphere. Look up, the gap is boundless. Is this the power of Shangguanzhong? Is this the family of beasts? Sure enough, she can't resist now. Suddenly, the direction of the purple figure suddenly changed. Do not think that you are God, you can control my life at will. Even if you are God, my life has the final say of myself. Crisp roar, mixed with cool anger. In mid-air, a purple and black figure suddenly burst out a dazzling light. The shadow was shot down in mid-air. Bang. There was a roar and a loud noise. Let the 10,000 beastmen who are going to support here suddenly stop. They look at the Shangguanzhong which is sunken in the stone wall, and look surprised and unbelievable. They don't have eyes, do they? How could the Lord have been beaten away? Everyone's eyes hovered between Yunwu and Shangguanzhong, except for surprise. How could it be that this woman had only the strength of the middle period of Wuzong? How could she be close to the Lord? But in front of the real scene, but let them have to believe. Looking at the Cloud Dance, they were tongue-tied and couldn't react for a moment. Who dares to take the initiative to challenge the Beast Gate after so many years in the Beast Gate? Who challenges the Beast Gate and is still alive? How many other people can beat Shangguanzhong away? But this woman is terrible. It's not good to be stunned when fighting. A voice of evil spirit suddenly brushed everyone's ears. What? When people heard the words, they turned back in an instant. But in that second, a strange black light suddenly passed in front of everyone's eyes. A white figure circled around the dark haze, came in an instant. You. The crowd looked at the dragon and fell down slowly with reluctance and disbelief. Blood does not stain the ground. But the smell of blood soon spread. Tut tut, what a pity. Long Qingxia looks at the fallen people, shakes his head and goes to Yunwu. Because Shangguanzhong was hit by the clouds, the dark atmosphere in the crack has retreated. It doesn't mean it's gone. For example, now that Shangguanzhong stands up, the strange breath under his body is restless again. Looking at Shangguanzhong not far away, Yunwu was shocked for a moment. Just that hit, but she once again consumed a lot of Yuanli mental strength, combined with 3 elements to attack. The repulsive explosive force of the 3 elements fusion. Even if it hits Yunwu itself, I'm afraid it will be seriously injured. However, the Shangguanzhong, in addition to the figure some embarrassed, his breath is not a trace of disorder. That is to say, the blow just now has no effect on him the stronger the joint force is. the less pain you feel. Now even the fusion of these 3 elements can't do him any harm. What the hell is this Shenguanshong? Shenguanshong lowered his head, straightened up some embarrassed robes and patted the dust on his body. He couldn't see clearly, but he could feel the breath of death coming on him. I'm afraid I'm still in charge of your life. As soon as the voice fell, the dark breath in the gap came again. Boom. With the power of crushing everything, the ground is directly crushed into gravel powder. Yunwu watched the sinking of her body, and her eyes swept by. It's over. She remembered that the family of 10,000 beasts was floating on the cloud. Was it because he was allowed to carry the stone? Isn't it a waste of effort to crush it like this? Or is this stone land a part of his defense? Yunwu didn't have time to think about it. In a moment, the elements of wind around her body were lifted up, with clusters of fire. If it's just occupied, the wind element should be able to support it. But the destructive power of the dark atmosphere is not so simple. Just at the moment when the dark air appeared, the wind element on Yunwu's body seemed to be under some control and stagnated. Yunwu's face changed and his heart was shocked. Next second, Yunwu's body was suddenly hit by some force. Suddenly, it flew by in the air. With a loud bang, it fell on the stone wall in the air. At that moment, Yunwu watched with his own eyes and accidentally touched the hem of the protective cover outside the stone wall, which was crushed into powder. Just now Shenguanshong hit the stone wall without any movement. As soon as the hem of her dress came near, it broke into powder? See this change of cloud dance, look unusually dark. How deep is Shenguanshong's strength? The same surprise as Dragon Qingxia, he naturally also found out. Looking at the strange smell, the dragon's evil golden eyes flied past the tomb of Shangguan. The witch clan and the evil clan disappear completely now. Shenguanshong raised a strange radiance, and the dark breath speeded up 10 times instantly. Originally, he intended to let her hand over the sorcerer's sacred objects and temple map and kill her again, but he didn't expect that she was touching his bottom line. What holy map he wants, even without her, he will get it. The dark breath is close at hand. The dark haze hovers around the dragon's body, and the magic power in Cloud Dance's body also emerges. Cloud Dance lips slightly hook. This is the last hit, right? If you know you're going to lose, what are you going to fight? Run away. In the Hall of Chaos came the voice of Hyo. Cloud Dance willow eyebrow tiny wrinkly. Run of. Can run, she has already run. Still use here to listen to his nonsense. You look lucky. Black Ao didn't know what to say. Without waiting for the Cloud Dance to answer, a bright light appeared in the fierce dark atmosphere. The light was bright and dazzling, and it kept spinning, just tearing a hole in the space swallowed by the darkness. Cloud Dancing Dragon looks at each other, and jumps hand in hand. Jump down. In the same second, a sound came out of the light whirlpool. Just at the moment when they jumped into the whirlpool, the silver light suddenly disappeared, as if it had not appeared before. It was only in the blink of an eye that it appeared and disappeared. At the moment of falling, Yunwu finally understood the meaning of Hyo's words. It seems that her luck is really good. Vaguely, she actually seemed to see the figure of Meng Bai, the mouse she met in the secret base that day. In front of them, the scene became more and more blurred, and the clouds and dragons fell down with each other. They vaguely felt that they had separated from the family of beasts. And also in this moment, two people also can't help the complete detachment on the body finally. In fact, they have been acting as if nothing had happened. In fact, fighting against that Shenguanshong has consumed too much of their strength. Physical injury, but also forced to endure. Maybe I saw the mouse, I don't know why. I felt a little relieved, but they both felt dark and fell into a coma. Forget it. Let it take them wherever it goes. As long as you're not in the Beast Gate, everything is possible. At the moment, Shangguan and Menganji, who use magic to get away from the cave, have come to the inn to join Qi Yi's, waiting for Yunwu and others. You don't think anything will happen to Xiaowu, do you? Shangguan looked at the distance from time to time, but there was still no Cloud Dancing. His bad feeling became stronger and stronger. Crow mouth. Qi Knight cold glance at him. Shangguan looked back at Qi Knight. Dead duck mouth. Don't worry, both of them are very lucky. They don't have much chance of having an accident together. Situlan looked at Qi Yi's and said, "How do you know Xiaowu? I don't know if the famous lady has an owner? Do you still have a chance to chase you in this dignified atmosphere?" It seems that only Situlan can let go. It seems that he knows that Yunwu and Longqingxi are okay. Qi Night Color Head also didn't return, wiping the snake sword in the hand. The facial expression is indifferent. I don't know whether it was intentional or unintentional. Under the sunlight, the light reflected by the snake sword happened to fall on Situlan's eyes. What a cold woman! Situlan blocked the light and raised the corner of his mouth. The light belongs to the sun, but now it is cold and shivering. I like women who feel threatened most, because they are very challenging. Situlan raised her eyebrows slightly. Smell speech. Qi Night suddenly stand up. Will snake sword backspace. Turn to leave. Well, you haven't answered my question yet. Situlan looks at Qi Yi who leaves and shouts to her back. Next second. Wow, a bright dagger, straight into the crack of his palm on the table, clang constantly. Situlan looked at the dagger on the table with the same look, ha. Just as Situlan took back his palm, the whole table cracked and turned into a pool of rotten wood. Shangguan and Situlan looked at the scene, and their eyes changed. Only Nangongyi has not changed, because he saw this scene when he first met her. This woman is so much like her. The South Palace lips cape tiny hook, put down the teacup, a shake body disappeared. How do you feel that this woman is as terrible as Xiaowu? They leave one after another. It seems that they have made it clear that Yunwu has escaped from the Beast Gate. As long as they escape the Beast Gate, the rest of them don't need to worry. Because they saw that the beast men who had just passed by were looking around in large quantities. As for who to search, I think everyone knows very well. The Gate of Thundergate. Looking at the bloody and chaotic gate of Peihong, Shangguan's intention to kill appears. Blood is everywhere. Looking at Liao Zongtian, who has been abandoned, he looks even colder. At the moment, Liao Zongtian can't speak, his limbs are all useless, and he is not conscious. He is already a useless man who can't return to heaven. Damn it. The only powerful force to win over the forces has been eliminated. No one will be upset. Bring her back to me at all costs. The gloomy roar spread all over the sky of the whole Thundergate in an instant. Yes. On the quiet grassland, a few wild flowers are blooming, emitting a unique aroma. Surrounded by the flowers, two figures hugged each other on the grass, as if resting. Suddenly, there was a movement in the purple figure. Yunwu frowned, touched his forehead and opened his eyes. After the focus of his eyes, he squinted and looked around. He was relieved to find that he had really left the Gate of Beasts. She wanted to sit up, but she was surrounded by the domineering arm around her waist and couldn't move. She sighed helplessly. When you wake up, what else do you want to wear? Be careful if you are struck by thunder. Smell speech. Longqing evil mouth corner evil spirit. For husband also want to hold you for a while, also only in for husband's arms. You just have little woman's posture to die. Yunwu stretched out his arm and punched him in the chest. In addition to making fun of her, this guy is just eating her tofu. Is it a tragedy if he doesn't have these two things in his life? Her life more than these two things is the real tragedy. I've just escaped death, and I'll be able to flirt with you. In the distance there was a faint sound. It's Meng Bai's voice. Cloud Dance Willow Eyebrow Tiny Pick took the opportunity to get rid of the Dragon Qing evil embrace, sat up. It's really that mouse. Although with that Meng Bai only one-sided relationship, but the impression is not bad. Thanks for saving your life again, Brother Bai. Cloud Dance is rare. Meng Bai glanced at her and said contemptuously, I regret it now. What do you want to do? Cloud Dance forehead a black. Save all save now say regret still have what use? Meng Bai looked at the dragon who sat up with him, turned his head to the other side with disdain, and said, I didn't save it. Cloud Dance the thought of this mouse is really different from that of human. Then she stood up and looked around, and found that it was a beautiful place, with heron grass everywhere, wild flowers in full bloom, and streams murmuring. Where is this? Cloud Dance raises eyes to see to Meng Bai way. Lower bound. Meng Bai sat on the stone, not angry back to her. Lower bound? The cloud dances, the eye color is one lung. She wanted to ask where she was in this place. But his answer is direct enough, and she doesn't need to know where it is, but look at Meng Bai, who is sitting on the stone over there. He has a smelly face and a second eldest brother's attitude, just like who owes him millions. Is this guy born to be incompatible with her? How long did we faint? How did you get there to the lower boundary? Ignore Meng by that cold face, cloud dance still have hot buttocks of then ask. There are too many questions in my mind to answer. She now feels that her whole body is the same. Before, her body consumed Yuan Li and her injuries seem to be completely intact. And look at the dragon, it seems to be the same as her. Have they been in a coma for a long time? I don't feel it from the upper bound to the lower bound. But as far as she knows, the only one who can go up and down is the boarder. He's only 11 or 12 years old even if he's a mouse. How can he bring them down? However, without waiting for Meng Bai to reply, another voice came. It's the teleport. Long Qingxie sits on the grass and flicks the green leaves on his robe. He says with a smile. Transmission array? The cloud dances with shame. She only heard about it when she was playing games in modern times. Here, she really didn't meet. Is there a teleportation array in the world? If that's the case, why don't you waste any time in the future? Just use the teleport array where you want to go? Do you know the teleport array? So you get it? Teach me. Cloud Dance goes to the dragon to pour out evil, smiling extremely beautiful and charming. If you really know what the transmission array is, it will be easier to run in the future. Long Qingxie looks at the charming appearance of the Cloud Dance. With a hook at the corner of his mouth and a stretch of his long arm, he pulls her into his arms. The hot breath brushed her ear, abnormal evil way. After obediently serve for husband. Which day serve for husband satisfied, for husband teach you. There is only 1 finger distance between them, and his breath curls around her cheek, like a tease, which makes Yunwu feel absent for a moment. It's not serious. Yunwu pushes the dragon away and steps back. However, Maozi did not dare to look into his eyes anymore, and tried to calm his inner confusion. This guy is a real monster, but he knows how to stir her heart more and more. It's better to keep a safe distance, otherwise she can't keep calm. Well, that's silly. Do you think everyone knows how to learn teleportation? If he will he need me to save you? Meng Bai looks at the rosy Cloud Dance on his cheek, a look of disgust. Hearing what he said, Yunwu's face suddenly turned black. When was she so stupid? Long Qingxie's thin lips raised a radiant of evil spirit, glanced at Meng Bai and walked to the cloud. Little thing, he is really right. Wei Fu really can't transmit the array. Cut. Meng Bai instantly felt that he was weak, and his eyes were even more contemptuous. But I have this for my husband if you can learn it. Without waiting for Yunwu to say anything, Long Qingxie takes out a book similar to Tianshu from the space, and gives it to Yunwu. Cloud Dance a look, be above a few words to attract the eyes of instant brilliance. Secret script of teleportation array. This man really, if there is nothing? How many good things is he hiding? How is it possible that the secret script of the teleportation array, which has been lost for nearly 100 years, is in your possession? Meng Bai looked at the book and roared in surprise. The next second, the figure brushed a sweep, an instant came to the Cloud Dance side, looking at the transmission array script, Sumlingshan. This is a real secret script of the teleportation array. He has been searching for it for more than 10 years without any clue. Now it suddenly appears. How can he accept it all at once? Long Qingxie didn't answer. Instead, he looked at Yunwu and said, "A secret book, what do you want in exchange for it?" Exchange? The next moment, the secret script disappeared in her hands. At this time, Yunwu raised her eyes and met the dragon with a smile. She said innocently, "What did you just say?" "I didn't hear it." At the end of the speech, the Cloud Dance moves forward gracefully. Looking at the distant Cloud Dance, the curve of the dragon's thin lips is more obvious, and he shakes his head helplessly. This little thing, well, let me see the secret script. Meng Bai rushed to catch up. No, just let me have a look. I've been looking for it for more than 10 years. I'm sorry. Come on. Bang. Meng Bai was beaten to fly tens of miles. Please keep that distance when you talk to her. Men's evil voice, but with the threat cannot be ignored. 3 people leave together. In the upper bound they need to be careful everywhere. But now it's in the lower bound. The beast gate in the lower world has been destroyed before. So far, they are safe for the time being. Although it's possible that the beast gate will send people to the lower boundary to search their whereabouts. This is also a later story. Now the beast gate people should still search the upper boundary. Are you ready? Long Qingxia looks at Yunwu. Although he is smiling, he has a trace of strictness. Now they are on the way to Yunfu. Cloud danced slightly jawhead. The face of sooner or later to face. Long Qingxia looked at her and nodded, but he didn't speak. He put his hand on her shoulder and made a little effort. Cloud Dance's smile, naturally understand his meaning. In fact, except for Yun Qi, she doesn't have too much strong feelings for the Yun family. Just sometimes, the feeling of not seeing and seeing is totally different. The imperial city of Zhou dynasty. At the moment of seeing the gate of Yunfu, Yunwu suddenly stopped. Before the glorious and majestic General Yun's residence. It seems that it has completely changed. No one around dares to walk along this section of the road. Suddenly, it shows the unusual quietness around. The traces of blood have dried up on the mighty gate. On weekdays, the gold plaque hanging in the middle of the top was smashed to the ground. Although the word Cloud House has been broken, it is still as arrogant as usual. Just like the Cloud House at the moment, although it was destroyed, it was still unyielding and arrogant. When Yunwu came to the residence, the smell of blood was still in the air of Yunfu. At this moment, she seemed to be able to feel the killing at that time. Every inch of the ground, every inch of the wall screams, cries for help, swords, corpses, even the thick blood of the air. Cloud Dance's heart unconsciously shrunk a bit. Can't help hands micro grip. The next second, she took a deep breath, a little bit of fighting passed, and instantly opened the door. With the door open, the smell of blood suddenly crowded out, make Cloud slightly frown. Looking around, on the ground of Shirko, there was still a body with a stench. Bodies everywhere, blood like a river, everywhere a mess. On the branches, on the chair where Yunqi often sits, and in the back garden where she likes to stay, there are blood everywhere and corpses everywhere. This is the Cloud home now? Cloud Dance looked at the scene in front of her, at the body that had not been collected, standing in front of the door. I don't know why she couldn't move. My heart is constantly tightening. A group of unknown anger, rising in my heart. Long Qingxia grabs Yunwu's hand and says in a low voice, "This is not what you should do now." The Cloud dances and the pupil shrinks. Yes, anger and grief are not what she should do now. What she should do now is to destroy the Beast Gate and sacrifice the blood of the Beast Gate to the people of Yun family. But now she can't. The anger in my heart seemed to break through my chest. Clenching his fist's nails, he fell deeply into the flesh and blood, oozing and dripping. However, Yunwu seems to have no feeling. She just feels that she wants to burst out because of her heartache. Beast Gate. Cloud Dance's eyes were full of blood and rage, and his whole body instantly raised a wave of endless anger. I swear in the name of the summoner that if we don't destroy the Beast Gate, the reincarnation of the fierce prison will not end. Roaring, breaking the air. It was not until half a sound that the roar of dying seemed to fade away in mid-air. Half a ring. Pupil Mao red silk gradually calm. And that terrible anger seems to also gradually convergence. But the killing intention in the bottom of my eyes didn't disappear at all. Comfortable? Long Qingxia has been looking at her. She needs to vent. Go in and have a look. After Yunwu finished, he went to Yunfu. Walk into Yunfu. The smell of blood and the stench of corpses were all around. But the Cloud Dance seemed to have no feeling. Every step she took, she wrote an extra account for the Beast Gate. With each step, the killing intention in her eyes became stronger. She must remember everything here. One day in the future, she will ask all the people of the Beast Gate to pay 100 times the price. Even if she doesn't like some people in Yunfu, this is her home and her root. Dare to move her roots. She wants everyone to pay the price they walk. Yunwu took a deep breath and looked up at the sky of Yunfu, which was red by the blood on the ground. Hua hua. A breeze swept by, leaves rustling. It seems to be cheering the clouds back. and it seems to be lamenting the killing it saw. Yunwu picked up a leaf soaked in blood on the ground and whispered, "Did you see all the process of Yunfu being killed? It doesn't matter. Absorb these blood and grow up well. One day, you will see the end of the 10,000 Beast Gate in the same way." Mengbai looks at the cloud dance, rare solemn silence. After walking around Yunfu, he seems to be able to imagine how Yunfu used to be, but now Mengbai looks at Yunwu for a long time. From her he feels angry, sad, murderous and hateful. Finally, Mengbai could not help sighing. "That I heard your mother say that the only way to kill Shangguanzhong is to kill the sacred objects of the witch clan." Mengbai suddenly opened his mouth and let Cloud Dance move. The holy things of the witch clan. Obviously, the holy thing of the witch clan in his mouth was not the necklace she was wearing around her neck. Yunwu put the leaf on the stone bench, stood up and looked at Mengbai. "What is that witch holy thing again?" Because of it, she was imprisoned in Shangguanzhong. But before, she seemed to have heard her mother's ghost say, as if it was the only thing that could kill Shangguanzhong. However, she forgot to disturb the family of 10,000 beasts later. No wonder Shangguanzhong was so nervous that he had to get the holy things of the witch family. So that's his weakness. "Shangguanzhong, don't worry. Hurry to find me. One day I will find you. That day won't be too long. Since you know so much, do you know what the holy thing of the witch clan is?" Cloud Dance slightly frowned, looked to Mengbai ask. "There are all kinds of news about the holy things of the witches. It seems that everyone knows the existence of the holy things of the witches, but why doesn't she know what the holy things of the witches are?" Mengbai shook his head. "Your mother left before she could say it." He said to leave, is only that day has been to the secret base of 10,000 Beast Gate. Cloud Dance frowns. "It seems that if you want to know the news about the holy things of the witch clan, you have to ask the sleeping Bai Lao. But now she doubts what the holy things of the witch clan are. Does Bai Lao know? If Bai Lao doesn't know, there is no way to seek. Although I don't know what the sorcerer's sacred objects are, I inadvertently said that the only thing that can stimulate the sorcerer's sacred objects is the key to the four forces of nature. That is to say, as long as we gather the keys to open the four forces of nature, we can stimulate the sorcerer's sacred objects." The power of nature? It's not like that, is it? Cloud Dance eyes color slightly change. Heart read a move. From the space took out the original from that Jia fat body to get water drop pendant. At the beginning, people of the Beast Gate always wanted to find this. They knew that the key to the power of water was not simple. I didn't expect that there was such a use. Now that she has the key to the power of water, isn't she short of the other three keys? However, when Mengbai looks at the silver pendant in Yunwu's hand, he is suddenly stunned. The next second his eyes widened, surprised as if he was about to lose his chin. Do you have the key to the power of water?" Cloud Dance willow eyebrow tiny pick. "Also just have this." In comparison, there are still 3 missing ones, and it seems that they are not very excited to get this one. "Do you know that this Shangguanzhong has been searched for decades, but it hasn't been found? You can get it so easily and still. Or just one." Mengbai speechless looking at the sky. This woman thought it was a house. Are these 4 forces of nature so easy to find? That Shangguanzhong hasn't found one for decades. Is it time to commit suicide? Cloud Dance frown. Want to get this is so difficult? If Mengbai knew how unintentional she was, he would get the key. And he would probably die of vomiting blood, right? Do you know that there is an induction between the 4 forces of nature? When you get this key, if other forces of nature are nearby, this key can be sensed, and you will be satisfied. Can you still sense other keys? This is a good one. Cloud Dance looks at the power of water in the hand, the corner of the mouth a hook. It took back the space. As expected, there are other uses. Now that we know the way to eliminate Shangguanzhong, there is another headache. That's the 5 elements of opening the beast door shield. If there are no 5 elements, it's useless to get the sorcerer's holy things. But among the 5 elements, except for the tears of Flame Mountain and drops of Snow Mountain she has already got, she can get them as long as she helps him find his wife. Besides the ancient light, the other 2 elements don't even know their names. How can I find them? Looking up at the sky, I feel the dark clouds. Do you know the whereabouts of the 5 elements needed to open the protective cover of the beast gate? Yunwu suddenly looks at Meng Bai. Since Meng Bai appeared in the Gate of Beasts, and knew so many things, he must have known something since he stayed in the Gate of Beasts for a long time. Don't even think about it. The 5 elements that open the shield are harder to find than the 4 forces of nature. Meng Bai snorted coldly. Is she really going to destroy the Beast Gate? That's something that people in the upper world dare not think about. She actually, tell me if you know, where's the bullshit? The cloud dances, the eye color is slightly cool, wheezing and chirping, like Aunt Wong next door. Touching her cool eyes, Meng Bai's mouth drew a little. What is this woman like her tender mother? The tears of Flame Mountain, the drops of Snow Mountain, the light of ancient times, the heart of wind and the flowers of wrought tan. Any of these 5 elements can make a person look for a lifetime. It is self-evident that these 5 elements are extremely difficult to find. The tears of Yenshan and the drops of Xueshan have fallen, and there are still 3 left. Yunwu takes a deep breath, and the smell of blood penetrates his nose. This time, no matter for the sake of Yunfu or for her purpose, she must find a way to destroy the Beast Gate. What? Meng Bai's eyes glared full of doubt. You said you already have 2 elements in the whereabouts? The tears of Yen Mountain have been obtained, and the drops of Snow Mountain are near. Cloud Dance ignores Meng Bai's shocked and petrified appearance, nods sincerely, and then turns to leave. Have got. Meng Bai is completely petrified. Long Qingxia looks at Yunwu's back when he leaves coldly, and a smile rises from the corner of his mouth. This little thing catching up with Yunwu, they leave one after another, leaving Meng Bai with no response. It's probably that he has been in the Beast Gate for too long. He knows that Shangguanzhong has been working hard for the 4 forces of nature and the 5 elements, but he hasn't got them yet. But now, all of a sudden, it's hard for people to accept that a lower-bound person can get it so easily. Just as Yunwu was about to leave Yunfu, she suddenly caught a glimpse of the direction of Yunfu Forbidden Area in the distance. The original Forbidden Area is now filled with traces of fighting. It must be a mess of blood, right? After a moment's meditation, Yunwu walks towards the Forbidden Area. Soon after entering the Forbidden Area, traces of blood appeared. Everywhere they poured were cannibal vines cut off by the fighting force, and boa constrictors were broken. Cloud Dance coagulates Lume to walk in. All of a sudden, she stopped abruptly and looked at the ground in front of her for a moment, looking at the 4 bodies lying there. At this time, the dragon Qingxia who followed her also saw the 4 corpses, and her golden eyes sank slightly. It's the 3 elders of Yunfu and a corpse. And the body of that corpse is dressed like the clothes that Yunlingyi usually wears. Is it Yunlingyi? The white robes of the 3 elders were dyed blood red, but their faces were pale and terrible. They opened their eyes without fear and pain, but they were extremely peaceful. They lay straight in a row, as if their bodies had been touched. Looking at the 3 of them, Yunwu's heart was drawn, and the look of his eyes changed slightly. These 3 old men are probably the most disgusting ones of Yunwu except Yunqi, but now Shangguanzhong, this account will be added. You can rest assured that one day, I will avenge you personally. Rest in peace. Take back the eyes on the 3 elders. Yunwu looks at the broken body. I don't know why, the appearance of Yunlingyi suddenly flashed in my mind. As if at this moment, in front of a just and awe-inspiring father, until death did not lower his body. He holds the sword straight on the ground, body leaning on the tree trunk, right hand holding the sword, indomitable standing, straight standing. Seeing this scene, some emotion in Yunwu's heart was slightly touched. A crystal object slipped and fell on the back of her hand. Cloud Dance droops eyes to look at that white crystal clear, slightly frown. Is she crying? Long Qingxia's eyes flashed a touch of tenderness. Her slender fingers wiped the tears on her eyes, and her golden eyes were dark. It turns out that you are so ugly when you cry. You can rest assured that sooner or later, we will get back this hatred 100 times 1,000 times. Cloud Dance slightly jawhead, rare lying on his chest. Although she has no emotion with Yunlingyi, after all, blood is thicker than water. This subtle emotion is beyond her control, and the only thing she can do for him is to let the culprit go to hell. Long Qingxia, with the cloud dancing figure, has come to the garden and placed her on the stone bench. Have a rest here. Then Long Qingxie returns to the forbidden area. Looking at Yun Lingyi and the three elders, Long Qingxie sighs and places them in the forbidden area. With her, Yunfu will rise again sooner or later. She will take you to the top. Rest in peace. The magnetic voice, gently died with a strong voice, reverberated in the forbidden area for a long time. In the garden, Cloud Dance looks at the slowly coming dragon Qingxie, a slight hook on the lips, showing a bitter but gentle smile. Suddenly, her eyebrows picked slightly, as if she remembered something, looking at the ring on her finger. Where it has been imprisoned for such a long time, does it miss so much? With a flash of red light, a huge dragon flashed out. But when the red light disappeared, a very handsome man appeared beside Yunwu. This look. Looking at the man in front of him, Yunwu slightly raised his eyebrows and joked. The 8th prince of the dragon clan turned into a human figure. Is he such a handsome man? So you were the one who made it false? Or is it illusory before? Yunwu had seen the red fire dragon turning into human shape, but that time it was quite heroic. But what she wanted to say about the appearance in front of her was that the dragon was powerful and strong, and now it's human. Although it's beautiful, it looks like a graceful and thin scholar. A beige robe, wrapped with some thin body, black hair down to the back, the forehead of the inclined bangs floating in the wind. The whole person looks natural and unrestrained, but some weak. But soon, Yunwu found the anger and unbearable feeling hidden between his eyebrows. I was born to look like this. Even if I look like this, you are not my opponent. Red fire dragon with angry words, straight at the clouds. Oh, the strength of your original human form will decline. Cloud Dance pick eyebrow of looking at him. The red fire dragon wanted to say something, but he didn't say it. The sentence just now is undoubtedly that he broke his own foot. Cloud Dance looks at the red fire dragon's shriveled appearance, slightly droops her eyes, and then looks at the forbidden area. What do you feel when you look at the place where you have lived for hundreds of years turning into nothingness? Red fire dragon looks at the forbidden area with the eyes of Cloud Dance, and the taste of being imprisoned immediately rushes to his heart. Think about the fact that the 8th prince of Tang Tang Long has been imprisoned for 100 years. How can he get a foothold? What other face appears in the dragon clan? It's hard to look back. However, although he had been imprisoned in Yunfu for 100 years, he was only imprisoned and did not suffer any humiliation. When he thought about the humiliation he had suffered in the past few days, it would be a thorn in his heart forever. Yes, hundreds of years of imprisonment are not as humiliating as they have been in just a few days. Shangguanshong, the humiliation you made me suffer will be long in the future, and will be paid back thousands of times in the future. Red fire dragon heart ruthless belly fei. By the way, I just heard that you are looking for 5 elements. Red fire dragon draws back the line of sight, looking at Cloud Dance to ask away. Cloud Dance slightly jawhead, a trace of doubt in the eyes. You know? The red fire dragon pondered for a while and said, the light of ancient times has always existed in the dragon people, which is a legend of the dragon people for thousands of years. Just in the contract ring, he heard the conversation between Yunwu and Meng Bai. He knew that the destruction of the Beast Gate needed ancient light. Then he remembered that he had heard the legend of ancient light in the dragon clan. Dragon? Cloud Dance eyes color flash. Ancient light in the dragon? No wonder she hasn't even heard of it. It turns out that she has been hiding in the dragon tribe. No wonder no one can find it. Since you have heard of it, do you know what the ancient light is? The red fire dragon shook his head. The legend of ancient light has always existed. The dragon people probably spread a false message, saying that ordinary people can get the power of ancient light and become immortal directly, but no one knows what it is. Can it be immortal? Cloud Dance mouth raised a touch of ironic smile. Really enough self-deception. The light of ancient times is just a cluster of light left in the upper world when the divine world was in chaos in ancient times. It is not so much a cluster of light as a cluster of terrible power. Dragon Qingxie sits beside Cloud Dance, looks at Cloud Dance evil spirit, and says with a smile. And his evil expression seems to be saying, Is it more worship for husband? The cloud dance is speechless. How do you know so well? The red fire dragon looks at the dragon suspiciously. How could he know the legend of the dragon? Long Qingxia glanced at him lazily, but didn't answer. Instead, he put his chin on Yunwu's shoulder and said, Weifu knows that under his background, Weifu's position in your heart is more stable. This man does not want to answer that question. At this time, Meng Bai, who had been in a petrified state, did not know when he had appeared. How about looking for the light of ancient times when the beast gate is frustrated? Meng Bai looks at Cloud Dance to propose a way. Yunwu thought for a while but didn't agree soon. When the red fire dragon heard that he was going back to the dragon clan, his eyes sank and seemed to resist. Because of this subtle expression, Yunwu didn't reply Meng Bai quickly. Red fire dragon inadvertently glances at Yunwu and stares at him. For a moment, red fire dragon sees the doubts and questions in Yunwu's eyes. He drops his eyes and ponders for a while. I was injured in the First World War of Beast Gate. Now there is no Dragon Ball. I can only go back to the Dragon Clan to repair it. This sentence gives Cloud Dance an answer. Let's look for the ancient light first. Without waiting for Yunwu to speak, Long Qingxia agrees with Meng Bai's proposal. Long Qingxia agreed, which means Cloud Dance acquiesced. Cloud Dance glanced at the dragon on her shoulder, and there was a doubt in the bottom of her eyes. This guy is a bit abnormal. Usually he will wait for her to answer. When she goes, he will go. He will never take her advice and decide for her. What's the matter today? No longer thinking about it, Yunwu takes back her gaze and looks at Meng Bai. Before that, I'll go to several places. You'll be free for 3 days. I'll see you here in 3 days. What Long Qingxia is thinking, she can vaguely understand, but is not willing to think more. His starting point is always thinking for her. As long as he understands that he is a man who can entrust everything. Moreover, it is imperative to find the ancient light. I'll see you in 3 days. The voice falls in. Meng Bai has already gone away, faintly can see his back to Cloud Wave. Cloud Dance takes back the sight in the distance, raises the eye to see Red Fire Dragon. That dragon 8 princes, finally get free, change back to human form. Don't go to carefree, carefree is not a pity? Red Fire Dragon smells speech. Eye color is suffused with joyful light. He has a contract with Yunwu. Without Yunwu's words, he doesn't dare to leave without permission. Now that Yunwu has spoken, he is naturally very happy. Well, I'm not rare. Red Fire Dragon Cold Hume swept Cloud Dance and Dragon to pour evil a circle way. You continue to love, I look for meat to eat. At the end of the speech, the Cloud Dance felt the sight flash, and when the focus came back, it could only feel a gust of wind passing by. This is right and wrong, speak arrogantly, don't please the tone of people have to change, otherwise White has a handsome young man's appearance. Suddenly, she felt some moist feeling in her neck. She looked down and saw that someone was biting her shamelessly. Cloud Dance face a black, low roar. Long Qingxia, are you a dog? Only if I chew your bone, I won't starve to death. Someone didn't care about the cold sullen eyes and continued to move. I have few bones but there are many on the ground. I'll eat you for my husband's sake. In order not to be starved to death, I'll leave no bones left for my husband. After Meng Bai and Red Fire Dragon leave, Yunwu and Dragon find a guest room nearby to stay. Yunwu tells Long Qingxia that she is going to do something and asks him to wait for her in the inn. It's strange that Long Qingxia didn't say that he wanted to go with her this time, and didn't ask where she was going. On the contrary, he agreed happily, which made Yunwu suspicious. Do you plan to return to Longshu these days? Yunwu looks at the dragon who is lazy and comfortable drinking tea. Long Qingxia casts a wink at Yunwu, and the evil spirit says, guess right, there's a reward for your husband. When can this man have a serious personality? Pretend to be mysterious. The Cloud dances to return him a cold look, get up to leave. When she passed by Long Qingxia, she stepped on his foot. Listening to the comfortable murmur, she disappeared in the inn. Long Qingxia looks at the figure that Cloud Dance leaves, helplessly shakes his head. Be careful. After Yunwu left the inn, Long Qingxia also left and rushed to Long Ziguo. However, When Yunwu went to work, he went to the so-called Imperial Palace. First, the remains of the Yun family must be collected. The Cloud family has been destroyed for so many days, the people in the whole Imperial City can't be unaware. And Zhou Batian in the Imperial Palace can't be unaware. She doesn't care what Zhou Batian is afraid of. The Cloud family is destroyed in his territory. If she doesn't anger him, she will give him face. Not surprisingly, when Cloud Dance appeared in front of Zhou Batian, Zhou Batian's fear in her eyes was obvious. Obviously, in the last war between Zhou Dynasty and Longshu State, they were shocked by the strength of Yunwu. However, Yunwu is not in the mood to play tricks with him at this time. After he destroyed a palace with his bare hands, he immediately asked him to send someone to bury his family. In this world where the strong are respected, everything is empty, and strength is the strength of command. One move to destroy a palace was enough to shock Zhou Batian and the whole palace. After that, in the eyes of countless shock and fear, Yunwu left. The fate of the Cloud family was also properly buried on this day. Is the night silent, especially quiet? Suburban woods. In the quiet woods, the breeze is whispering, and occasionally a few insect sounds pass by. Suddenly a shadow fell, and the quiet woods became lively. At the moment, number 100, who had been hiding in the woods, was still asleep. Hearing this, he awoke alert. Bai Qingshui and Lingxian look at each other and nod at the same time. Suddenly, the figure of white water disappeared in the dark woods. Who? A voice as cold as a ghost. The next second, his figure has appeared behind Yunwu. Under the night, the Cloud dances to smell speech to pull open to put on a smile, looking back to see. Although haven't seen for a long time, really don't know? After seeing clearly that it was Cloud dance, Bai Qingshui's cold face was softened, and then he lowered his head. Master. Cloud dance tiny nods swept behind one eye. Other people still don't come out. At the end of the speech, there was a slight sound in the woods. In a short time, 110 people gathered in neat rows, which was very powerful in the moonlight. Master. The sound of Qi Shushu resounded through the quiet woods. Cloud danced slightly jaw-head, walked a circle among the people, looked more and more dark. Although they were not seriously injured in front of them, almost everyone hung the color, and their breath had not yet been adjusted. There are obviously fewer people. It seems that people have been lost in this war. The power of Pei Hongmen should not be underestimated. If we deal with the Beast Gate, her current strength is not good, and their strength also needs to be greatly improved. This is the strength of the people in the upper world. It's so hard to deal with only one Thunder Gate. How can you conquer the whole world? You can't do it with your current strength. Next, you can repair and cultivate here. If the place is not suitable, you can find your own place. I hope when I come back again, you can fight against the Beast Gate. Yes, Master. After dissolving all the people, Yunwu left Bai Qingshui alone, making Xiantian and Gaoyu. This is the elixir I got in the upper world. It can help them cultivate. Cloud Dance Subspace takes out the elixir and gives it to Gaoyu. Then he looked at Bai Qingshui and Ling Xiantian, and handed them a book in his hand. It's the secret of controlling power. The primary level is enough for them. How can she tell them that she can't understand the advanced level with her current strength? Bai Qingshui and Ling Xiantian nodded. Their current strength, even if they can only learn the method of primary control, will also have a great effect. And the power of pills is not limited to this. Just need them to dredge the power of pills in the body, completely attributed to emergency. With this secret script, there will be no useless power in the body. As for Yunwu, the power of the magic bite in her body is too strong. If you want to control the magic bite in her body, the primary and intermediate methods of the secret script can't control it. You can only use the advanced methods to control it. It's a pity that she hasn't understood the secret yet. But now she still has something important to do. Let's give it to them first, and make the best use of it. Next, I have other things to do. They will give them to the three of you. I will send them pills regularly, and you can take them by yourself. Looking at the three, Yunwu has a firm trust in his eyes. The three of them led the soldiers. She was very relieved. She looked forward to seeing them next time for greater progress. Yes. The three spoke in unison. Yunwu nodded. I don't know if it's still early, but he gave them a night run of tens of kilometers. He said it was tens of kilometers. I didn't know how many times he had run back and forth. Don't use strength, can only run. This can let them some can't bear. It wasn't until it was light that Cloud Dance said that they could have a rest, and people were wailing. Looking at the people lying on the ground one after another, Cloud Dancing, mouth slightly hooked, disappeared in the woods. With them, she seems to see the scene of her modern life. Cloud Dance walking on the road, low head, all the way thinking, I do not know what to think. Suddenly, a fast horse appeared at the corner of the intersection. People in front, get out of the way. A hormone roar interrupted Yunwu's thoughts. The Cloud dances to smell, speech to lift eyes. The fast horse is close at hand. She a flash body and fast horse pass by. If it's a second late, it's estimated that it will be kicked by the horse's hooves and crushed alive. In Cloud Dance with sullen displeasure, in touch with that person's face, eyes color slightly changed. Zhou Tianyu? She saw him, but he was in a hurry and didn't look at her. How did he show up at the border of Longziguo? Did something happen? In his spare time, Yunwu calls out Jinling and catches up with him. About half an hour later, Zhou Tianyu finally stopped in front of an inn. Yunwu looks at the inn and frowns slightly. The prince of the Zhou dynasty came to the inn of Longziguo. It's a matter of big or small. All the people who come here are here. She really wants to see the people who can let the prince of Zhou take the risk to come here. Let's go in and have a look. Entering the inn, Yunwu saw Zhou Tianyu walking directly to the second floor. When she followed Zhou Tianyu to the second floor, and saw the two people sitting beside him, she looked a little abnormal, because she saw two people who shouldn't have met each other sitting at a table talking. Zhou Feiyu and Meng Bai. How did they get together? Seeing that Zhou Tianyu and Zhou Feiyu said a few words, his face was a little angry. After a while, he got up and left angrily, leaving only Zhou Feiyu and Meng Bai on the table. Cloud Dance fundus doubts. What did Zhou Feiyu say to make Zhou Tianyu so angry? How can you use the teleport array? Meng Bai looks at Zhou Feiyu with some doubts. Zhou Feiyu looked out of the window and looked back. Is she out of danger? Meng Bai nodded. It's safe, but I don't understand. Since you can use the teleportation array, why don't you rescue her yourself? He has been very puzzled. When he entered the Beast Gate, he just gave him the teleportation array that was ready to go, but he left. Why didn't he leave together? Yunwu leans back to them, sips tea, and listens to their conversation with a complicated look. It turned out that he also went to the upper boundary and secretly participated in the Battle of the Beast Gate. But she didn't expect that he was the one who saved her and the dragon. So why did he leave? Zhou Feiyu said with an awe-inspiring smile. The chance to save the woman I like. How can I give it to other people? You didn't give me the chance. Meng Bai roared. Did you treat him as a fool? That transmission array has been designed for a long time. It can be used only by exciting the transmission array. So you're not the one who uses the teleport? Meng Bai was surprised, and his voice became louder. So he's just the third one to take over the teleport? Who designed the transmission array? He really wanted to know who was the first to use it. Not only he wants to know, Yunwu is also waiting to listen to Zhou Feiyu's answer. She has read the secret script of the teleportation array given to her by Long Qingxia. The essence of the teleportation array is human power. Through the incomprehensible characters on the secret script of the teleportation array, she can stimulate the limit of that power. The maximum limit power can run through the whole space, and the time is only a moment. But everyone's power is inspired by different incantations. This heavenly book records the incantations inspired by different forces of different people. However, the person who can understand these astronomical figures is estimated not to be born. That's why he didn't understand the dragon's heresy. But how can the person who can use the transmission array understand these words? However, Zhou Feiyu's next sentence, but let Cloud Dance suddenly Zheng Lung. There's no one but him. Zhou Feiyu's sharp eyes narrowed slightly and drank all the tea in his hand. But his tone was inexplicably bitter. Who is he? Meng Bai asked. At the moment, Yunwu can no longer hear the conversation between them. Cloud danced Zhenglong for a long time. It seems to come back to God. That damned man. Just one of them. Yunwu guessed who it was and didn't know whether to be depressed or to smile bitterly. That man, always behind to do something to make her surprised but warm. However, since he has made the teleportation array, why should he fight for the life of Shangguanzhong? Isn't it playing with your life? But soon, Yunwu could not help sighing. Is he afraid that if the teleportation array fails, she will be in danger, so he plans to do double insurance? Yes, the teleport array that no one has used for hundreds of years. It's the first time he uses it. Even if he is confident, he will be very careful when her life is in danger. But it's really stupid. Cloud Dance droops a smile. The Mao color is soft and warm. I don't know how to feel a sour nose. Next time I see Long Qingxia, please give me a word. If she is in any fatal danger, I will give up everything and guard her every step of the way. Zhou Feiyu's eyes flashed a touch of complexity, got up and left, leaving Meng Bai alone to meditate on his words. Is the person who uses the teleportation array Dragon Qingxia? Meng Bai suddenly slapped the table and stood up. No wonder he has the secret script of teleportation array, but how can he use teleportation array? This teleportation array has been lost for hundreds of years. Even if you have a secret script, you can't learn it? Yunwu heard him talking to himself, stood up and left. His question was exactly what she wanted to ask. This man is always too mysterious to peel the veil. After walking out of the inn, Yunwu finds that Zhou Tianyu has not left, but is waiting for Zhou Feiyu outside the inn. Listening to their conversation, it seems that there is something wrong with the minister of the Zhou dynasty. If you guess correctly, it should be Zhou Tianyu's people who were caught by Zhou Feiyu's people. Otherwise, Zhou Tianyu would not come here to find Zhou Feiyu. Cloud Dance sneers. When did Zhou Tianyu become so dull and go to the doctor in a hurry? Zhou Feiyu has been planning for such a long time. No matter what the reason, it is impossible to give up fighting for the Zhou dynasty. There was no point in hearing their conversation, so Yunwu stopped, disappeared in the inn, and went to the college. After this conversation, Zhou Feiyu will definitely return to the Zhou dynasty, not because of Zhou Tianyu's painstaking words, but to speed up the seriousness of the matter and speed up the acquisition of the Zhou dynasty. It seems that the Zhou dynasty will soon be his world, but these really seem to have nothing to do with her. When he came to the front door of the college, Yunwu looked at the door, pondered for a moment, turned and left. She still thinks it's easy to do things at night, find a place to rest while it's still early. After so long, it seems that she hasn't slept a few nights. The stars were shining and the night was cool. The woman in purple who was lying on the grass finally woke up. Cloud Dance stretched, looking at the starry night sky, deep cry, the moon is good. Then she got up and walked in the direction of the college. In the quiet outer college, the lights are bright, and everywhere is full of spiritual power. A dark figure flits over the sky in an instant. In the blink of an eye, it has come to the cliff. Looking at the outside college, the cloud dances and the corners of the mouth are slightly raised. After visiting the pharmacist elder, maybe she should also visit the Dean Chiemo. Chi Yis and Chiemo are actually the same surname, which makes her have to have an association. No matter whether there is a relationship between them, we need to check to remove the doubt. Taking back her eyes, she looked at the towering cliff, hummed a smile, and then went straight up in the air. When I first entered the internal college, I still needed something to help me get up, but now it's so easy. As expected, strength is the capital that despises everything. But now her strength is very high in the human world, but she still can't stretch her hands and feet in the upper world, so she must constantly become stronger and improve her strength. Until, can fearlessly despise the sky that moment. After sneaking into the inner college, Yunwu didn't sneak. Instead, she walked in the medicine garden and headed for the old pharmacist's cabin. This time, I came back to let the elder pharmacist continue to help refine some pills for elite troops and killer regiments. Kowtow kowtow. There was a knock on the door. At the moment, the elder pharmacist is developing pills. He is stunned when he hears someone knocking at the door. When is there such a master in inner college? He can't feel the breath of the other side? Thinking about this, he put down half of the pills in his hand and went to open the door. When he opened the door of the wooden house and saw the clouds dancing, his puzzled look turned into joy. Girl, how did you come back? Cloud dance willow eyebrow tiny pick, light way. How not welcome? You are the best student in the college. It's an honor for the college to come back. The pharmacist elder quickly let Yunwu into the room and tidied up the pills he ordered. Her participation in the Three Kingdoms competition caused a sensation in the whole mainland of China, and the Shenwang Samurai Academy was even more famous in the mainland of China. This year, there are twice as many people participating in the primary examination as in previous years, and most of them are in the name of the summoner students, and now the girl's strength is almost unfathomable, plus the power of magic bite in her body. If all the power of magic bite is used by her, I'm afraid very few people are her opponents. At that time, I'm afraid it will be very terrible. What can I do for you when you come back this time? The pharmacist elder said directly. Being exposed by the pharmacist elder on the spot, Yunwu was not embarrassed. Instead, he said directly, I want to ask the elder to continue to develop some pills for the elite troops. I know you'll never come back until you're okay. The elder pharmacist snorted. Where have you been for so long? Looking at the rapid progress of Cloud Dance, the elder pharmacist is more or less curious and respectful. Although I know that Cloud Dance has a better chance than ordinary people, and is gifted, I can't help but want to hear it. Just a trip to the upper bound. She seemed helpless between her words. You went to the upper boundary? The pharmacist elder opened his eyes and looked at the Cloud Dance with astonishment. In fact, not everyone in the lower world knows the place of the upper world, but it is the place that the strong people in the lower world yearn for. This girl actually went to the upper boundary? And it's really incredible that we can also upgrade our strength to such a level. Is this girl really the King of Kings? The pharmacist elder nodded and affirmed the idea. Yes, can you agree to ask the elder for help just now? Yunwu's eyes narrowed, and she knew the old man's surprise very well. But how could she tell him that now she can't go to the upper bound? Don't worry. I'll take care of this. However, your killer regiment and elite troops don't seem to be in the previous position. How can I give them the pills in the future? Don't worry, they will come by themselves. During this period of time, no matter the killer's regiment or the elite troops, their positions can't be exposed. This doesn't mean that they don't trust the pharmacist elders, but it's the most basic means to protect their lives. The elder pharmacist was stunned. They find it themselves? This is the inner college. How can I get to this girl? It's like a vegetable market where anyone can come? However, seeing Yunwu's not joking look, it was obvious that she was not joking. Those people will come to us. Because of this affirmation, the elder pharmacist couldn't help tightening his mind. This girl must be famous in the future. No one can stop her. Maybe she can create a miracle that no one created thousands of years ago. Cloud Dance looking at pharmacist elder. Dan medicine matter please you? The elder pharmacist nodded and then said, Don't leave today. Tomorrow, I will contact with the new people in the college. They all dream of meeting you. Cloud Dance pondered for a while. Rare did not refuse, slightly jawhead. Okay, then I go to see the dean first. Well, it's almost dawn. Don't go too long. Cloud Dance jawhead. Then a swept away from the cabin. That speed simply can't catch. Under the hazy night, the pharmacist elder looked at the disappeared figure and sighed. This girl is really not in the pool. Where on earth can she really stay? I'm afraid not yet. When I came to the foreign college, the sky was already gray, and it was about to be bright. There were already some people walking around in the foreign college. In order not to add trouble, she crossed everyone and went directly to Chimo's residence. When Yunwu comes to Chimo's residence, Chimo is meditating in the yard. He opens his eyes when he hears someone's footsteps coming. When he touches the face of Yunwu, his face changes slightly. Good morning, Dean Chi. Cloud waved to Chimo. Chimo stands up and looks at Cloud Dance. How did you come back? He can't feel her strength anymore. Has she improved? There's something bothering me for a long time. I want to ask you. Cloud Dance mouth slightly yawned, showing a touch of fine mang smile. Chiemo looks at the smile of the corner of her mouth slightly lose consciousness. This smile and her mother was too much like, although her mother gives a gentle feeling, but in fact it is also with a little calculation, a little ridicule, a little bad intentions. Yunwoo naturally noticed the soft feeling in his eyes, frowning slightly. What's that expression? Chiemo a smile cover up just now of state of affairs way. Have what problem to ask? Yunwoo nodded suspiciously. There is something wrong with this man. Have you heard the name of Chi Yi's? When Chiemo heard Chi Yi's name, his smiling face suddenly solidified. He stared at the cloud and said, "How do you know her?" Cloud danced smile. As expected, he guessed, between these two people really have a relationship. She's mine now. Well, a friend. What's your relationship with her? Is that your daughter? Yunwoo's mouth keeps rising. It seems that she has revealed the romantic past of the mysterious president. Chiemo smell speech, face slightly a change, and then said, "She was abandoned since childhood. I took her, and then she grew up and went back." You mean? Cloud danced slightly frown. Did not expect the result of things is like this. She only knew that Chi Yi seemed to be the eldest lady of a certain family in the upper world. As for what family she was in, she had no idea about her experience. Of course, the time to know her, to be honest, is too short. If she was once abandoned, she would never go back because of her personality, but now she is fully integrated into the family and has her own power. It seems that there must be some reason behind her that she must go back. It's estimated that Nangong Yi will know something about all this, right? How is she doing now? Chiemo looks at Cloud Danceway. It's not bad. I'm not inferior in strength. I'm far more powerful in the upper world than I am. She does not know whether the former is true or not, but the latter is definitely true. Chiemo Wenyan nods. It seems that she has achieved her goal. What's the purpose? Cloud Dance looking at Chiemo, still feel can know in other people's home, don't ask Chi Knight. It's not convenient for me to tell you. Since you are her friend, let her tell you by herself. Cloud Dance in the heart rolled a few white eyes, but also didn't say what. This is Chi Yi's private affair after all. Well, I'll go after the questions. Cloud waved to Chiemo. Chiemo looks at Cloud Dance to leave. Mao color low for a while. Want to say what desire to say and stop. Finally said out. Do you know the matter of Cloud House? Cloud Dance suddenly stops. Back to Chiemo slightly jawhead. Chiemo Weizheng did not expect that she already knew. Who else is alive? Cloud Dance willow eyebrow tiny cu. When did he begin to pay attention to the trend of Cloud Mansion? Is it none of your business? Cloud Dance looks back, looks indifferent. Chiemo looks at Cloud Dance silent sigh. Your mother loves your father. This matter anyway also can't let her know. Oh! Cloud Dance sneers, the corner of the mouth more layer of cold. The original point here. Is it someone who once had something to do with her mother? It's not a matter for the dean to worry about. Besides, he's just missing. He's not dead. Yunwoo looks at him indifferently. She didn't believe that the corpse she saw in the forbidden area was Yunlingyi from the beginning to the end. But that day she heard from that Lei Li that Yunlingyi's body had been thrown to the cliff. Therefore, she did not know whether Yunlingyi was dead or alive. Then I'm relieved. Chiemo looks complex, turned into the room. In a word, you can rest assured. It's more like an infatuated man giving up his true love. When her mother was young, the peach blossom chaos was really enough. There were people who knew her everywhere. It's just that she didn't think that she was not the same, peach blossom flooding. After leaving the outer college, Yunwoo went back to the inner college directly. Because I promised the pharmacist elder to see the new students from the college. At the moment, the pharmacist elder is talking to several students, which means that she is coming. Yunwoo is standing in a remote corner of the crowd, extremely inconspicuous. Because the inner college is large and there are many new students, many of them have never met each other, so even if no one has seen Cloud Dance, no one is surprised. Elder, we've heard about her reputation for a long time. When can I meet you? It's amazing. Is it really that powerful? Well, I've been thinking about meeting her for a long time. Cloud Dance listened to dozens of people, You a word I a word, mouth slightly pull, how feel like back to the college when? The pharmacist elder just wanted to say something, but he found Cloud dancing figure in the corner of the crowd. His face turned black and he said angrily to the crowd, "Shut up, be careful to be cleaned up." Yes, be careful. Walls have ears. At this time, the elder also spoke. When Yunwu first appeared in the crowd, he found Yunwu. Did not expect this wench, strength unexpectedly strong so many. Well, why hasn't she come yet? One of the students was arrogant and looked around. It seemed that he was not comfortable with Yunwu. Cloud danced a shallow smile, looking at that humanity. Talk so crazy, don't know how ability. The man heard Yunwu's slightly provocative voice, glanced at Yunwu and hummed coldly. Just try, but you are a student of the college? After hearing their conversation, they all looked back at Yunwu. At that moment, I felt a shock in my heart, a kind of unspeakable cold and oppressive feeling, as if the smile at the corner of her mouth was enough to frighten others. The students in the college are all wearing school uniforms, while Yunwu is wearing her own clothes. That's why that person would ask Yunwu such a question. But when she and Long Qingxie were students in the college, they didn't seem to comply with the rules of the college to wear uniforms. Yes. Cloud danced indifferent smile. She is really the last students. Well, let's do it. Suddenly, a long sword appeared in the man's hand, and his breath suddenly rose. Ha, you don't need a hand to play so much. A student looked at the man and exclaimed, "Are you going to take out 100% of your strength as soon as you make a move?" The man didn't answer. Maybe he can understand that there are not many people he feels now. He can feel the powerful and unpredictable power from Yunwu, and such a person against the war, in order to let his strength to a higher level. Great martial arts masters peak strength. Cloud Dance nods with admiration. The strength is really good. Then I'll be more respectful than obedient. This seems to answer the man, but her eyes glanced at the pharmacist elder not far away. The elder pharmacist's face changed slightly after hearing her words, but quickly hide it. Chaoyun Dance smile and nod, also should let these impetuous boys suffer. Know that there is someone outside. Then he always to the man, white eyebrow a horizontal, can't help but remind him. Qingyun, don't look down on the opponent. His talent is very high, but he is too arrogant. I don't know whether it is good or bad. The man named Qingyun frowned slightly when he heard the elder pharmacist's words. He seemed to think he was too wordy. The next second, a touch of blue fighting spirit came to the clouds. Behind the fighting spirit was a long sword with the power to pierce everything. The crowd looked at Qingyun, and then hung up. For a while, they looked at Yunwu with some sympathy. Is this a chance not to fight back? In the crowd, there were 3 other people who were waiting to see a good play, but they could see blue clouds. Ling Feng, Wu Xian and Xiaozhu. Before Cloud Dance's strength, they knew it best, but after going out for so long, her strength might be more unfathomable, right? Bang! In the crowd's hiss, a sudden dull sound came out. All of a sudden, the whole square was quiet. For a moment, there was no breath. Why, how is that possible? Unbelievable surprise broke the silence at the moment. The crowd looked at Qingyun, who had fallen to the ground and struggled a few times, but still didn't stand up. They were tongue-tied. He didn't even catch her when she shot. Can't he stand up even after being beaten? Just now, they just felt the darkness in front of them. In the blink of an eye, they heard a loud noise. After opening their eyes, they saw the scene in front of them. How is that possible? How can her speed be so fast? How can her strength be so strong? This at this moment, they can be sure that this woman is not a student of inner college. Who the hell are you? Qingyun's eyes are angry, and a frustrated blow hits the ground. He is the top strength of a great martial arts master. How can he? The elder pharmacist and the elder pagoda looked at the Cloud Dance with a look of meditation. She just used the power of Magic Bite? Once the power of Magic Bite appears, it will be out of control, destroying heaven and earth. Has this girl controlled Magic Bite? It's a good thing that the elder pharmacist nodded to herself and handed the Magic Bite to her. However, just now it seems that there is no smell of Magic Bite. Anyway, the strength of this girl has surpassed him. She was a student of the last year's inner college. Her surname is Yunming Dance. Looking at the cloud dance, Ling Feng's horror is faintly visible. Her strength is so strange and unpredictable, has reached such a high level. Hearing Ling Feng's words, they consciously let go of a gap and looked at the cloud dance with a dazed look. She is the legendary cloud dance? Ling Feng and Xiaozhu look at Yunwu and walk towards her. Cloud Dance looked at the three people, explored their strength, and nodded with satisfaction. In the middle of Wuxing period, the progress was very fast. But she felt a force in her unconscious body, and the force itself had exceeded his own martial saint. When did he have the extra force? You say she is Cloud Dance? No wonder you can beat the top of the freshman down with a single blow. It seems that her strength is as strong as the rumor. Everyone's eyes looked at the Cloud Dance together. The drama abuse on their faces has disappeared, replaced by surprise and fear, with a kind of shock and admiration rising from the bottom of my heart. Haven't you three graduated yet? Cloud Dance ignores the eyes of people's direction. Looking at Ling Feng, three people, the corners of the mouth are smiling. You've come at the right time. Today is the day we leave the college. Ling Feng looked at the Cloud Dance and raised a brilliant smile. Wu Xian nodded the same as Xiaozhu. Cloud Dance willow eyebrow tiny pick. It seems that she really came at the right time. Congratulations. Looking at three people, Cloud Dance rare raised the corner of the mouth to smile. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to practice, and let me enter the cultivation tower. Ling Feng, with a mysterious smile, approached Yunwu for a few steps and whispered, of course there is the martial arts book. At the beginning, several elders found that the martial arts books of the library were missing. Pidia Huan was miserable. He was bombarded by several elders and taught a lesson. Later, I don't know what Pidia Huan said to the elder. The elder just let him go. Otherwise, it would be enough for him. Remembering the feeling when he couldn't enter the cultivation tower at the beginning, he still remembers the taste. Now he can have this strength, which is something he didn't dare to think about at the beginning. Don't thank me. I don't need opportunities. Your own efforts. Cloud Dance mouth slightly pick. He can have today's strength, not all by his own efforts. Ling Fengwei pursed the corner of his mouth and nodded. He didn't know what to say, so he didn't say anything. Some thanks, say once is enough, the rest, perhaps need to take life to thank. Where are you going to experience? Ling Feng shakes his head. I don't know yet. Where I go is where I go. Xiao Zhu then nodded and said with a smile, next time we meet, I hope we can catch up with you. I'll see. Cloud Dance tiny pick eyebrow, just like a smile, then looked to have no intention. Where are you going? Unintentionally shrugged. I don't know. Maybe I'll do something first. Cloud Dance tiny jaw head, swept one eye to see her to be like to see the crowd of the beautiful thing, put the vision on the pharmacist elder body. For eyes meet and smile in return. After that, nothing was said. A sweep. In the twinkling of an eye, the Cloud Dance that just stood in front of the public has disappeared in the inner college. All that remained was the people who were stunned again. It's gone? So fast. It's worthy of the legendary character. I wish I could see her again. Looking at the instant disappearance of Cloud Dance, Qingyun clenched his fists. One day, I will challenge you again. After leaving the college, Yunwu went directly to Longziguo. After returning to the state of Longxiu, Yunwu and Longqingxi meet. After explaining the runaway marriage to Long Yaozi, he asked Long Yaozi to keep the news of their return secret for the time being, and secretly left a message to Shangguan and them. The upper world is scattered. Long Qingxia and Yunwu don't worry about them. At least Xiaomu is there. I believe they will come back soon. 3 days later, the four gathered in Yunfu at the appointed time, and set foot on the road to the dragon tribe together. For the location of the dragon, Cloud Dance is not clear. However, with the red fire dragon, it seems that there is no need to worry too much about this problem. The red fire dragon guides the way, and Jinling rushes all the way to the dragon. And the four of them sat on Jinling, and enjoyed the sunshine. In a few days. How long will it take to get there? Mengbai watched as Jinling reached the westernmost border of the Zhou dynasty, and flew higher and higher. He wondered whether the dragon clan could live in the sky soon. The red fire dragon looked at the cloud dance and said, "The dragon is in another boundary space. Before entering the boundary space, there is another boundary. However, the boundary has the pressure of natural barrier. We dragon have no problem passing through, but human beings can't pass through." Cloud Dance heard speech, silent for a while, did not answer. Because at the same time, the tornado in her mind has shown her the information. Outside the human world, there is a lot of boundary space. The dragon nationality is one of the GG80, and there is also a Jiejia outside the GG80. For thousands of years, almost no human beings have been able to pass through the border. Occasionally, some people try to pass through the border with their luck, and they all die under the natural barrier of the border. After getting the information of the tornado, Yunwu couldn't help wondering what the natural barrier of the border was formed. Why is there only one dead end after entering? Is it for the purpose of restricting human access? An hour later. Originally, Jinling, who was flying high in the sky, immediately began to gallop down. Soon he came to an endless rocky mountain range. Looking around, he saw endless mountains, but there was no grass. This place is the border with the dragon people? After the cloud dance landed, I couldn't help but scan my eyes. I couldn't see any obstacles around. After a long time, I couldn't see anything different. However, he took a few steps forward unconsciously. Who all of a sudden force rebounded and suddenly attacked Yunwu. Be careful. Not far ahead is the natural barrier. Red Fire Dragon's lazy voice came. Cloud Dance done steps, can't help but frown at the eyes. Just now it is clear that there is no different feeling, but at this time, Yunwu clearly feels the power of the border. At this moment, it seems that there is no need to explore. You can clearly feel that the natural barrier of the border has obvious repulsion to human beings. If forced to enter, it is estimated that it will be backfired by the pressure in the natural barrier. But I don't know why, Yunwu always feels strange, just like there is something in the border, but she can't get close to it to be sure. Is it true that no one has been able to pass the boundary for thousands of years? Mengbai felt a strong force in the border, which was almost exclusive of his power. Just close to the exclusion. Then if it is to enter? Don't you just crush him? He's not human, but he's still rejected. No wonder there's no grass around him. The red fire dragon glanced at the transparent boundary, which was like the barrier of the sky. A dark undercurrent flashed through the bottom of his eyes. But it soon disappeared. Silence for a moment. The red fire dragon, who has always been loud, seems to be languid since it came to this area. It said that the natural barrier has a strong pressure, which can't be borne by ordinary people except us dragon people. Mengbai smells speech. Immediately some want to roll the impulse of the eye. So if he brings them here and can't get in, isn't he blind? Is it hard for them to spend several days rushing here? And then they can't go back the same way? Mengbai thought of this, subconsciously glanced at Yunwu. It's impossible. Now that this woman knows that the ancient light may be in the dragon tribe, let alone the front is just a natural barrier. Even if Shangwenshong is in the way, she will never turn back in vain. I don't think you can stop this woman's step. I don't know why Mingming just get along with this cloud dance for the second time, but Mengbai is very sure in his heart. Even Mengbai understood this. How could Red Fire Dragon you not know the nature of Baiyun dance? That's why he said it directly. But I have a way, but I don't know what to do. Red Fire Dragon suddenly way. Cloud Dance picks eyebrows with Dragon Qingxia and looks at him, as if waiting for him to say the following. Red Fire Dragon suddenly glanced at Mengbai. Isn't he a mouse? Since it's hard to pass up, maybe we can try underground. What? Underground? Is he trying to get him to go underground? What do you mean? I'm a snow rat, not the lowly gopher. Go ahead. If you want to make a hole, do it yourself. Mengbai swept the red dragon with a white eye. Although he is a rat, he is the most noble snow rat, not the low-blood hamster. He let him make a hole, but it was a bit insulting to his blood. If you are not snow rat, I don't bother to call you. Do you think the ground squirrel can pierce this kind of rock ground? Red Fire Dragon also some hot temper up. Mengbai wanted to speak, but he couldn't. Indeed, although the hamster is good at drilling, it is absolutely impossible to pierce the rock. However, let him make a hole in front of the dragon. Didn't it make his identity short? How can he show off in front of him in the future? Mengbai was a very proud rat, which really depressed him. Cloud danced with Dragon Qing Evil, but at this time did not open half a word. Even if Mengbai refuses, it is estimated that Yunwu and Longqingxi will not say a word. A moment of silence. Mengbai still glanced at the red fire dragon discontentedly, but he didn't have a good way. This time, I'm looking at the face of Cloud Dance. You get out of my way. This time Red Dragon was obedient and stepped back. Yunwu and Longqingxi look at each other, and then they step back. Mengbai then turned around. Suddenly, a white light bloomed on him. Light scattered, only to see just Mengbai standing position, is a snow-white fluffy fat white mouse. However, this time is not as cute as the little Q seen in the last Cloud Dance. This time, Mengbai's original shape is as big as an adult Amur tiger. It's not as cute as the Q version, but it's more powerful and cute. It's not up to one to pick an eyebrow. Mengbai didn't like others to stare at the large shape. When the original shape changed, he immediately put up his forelimb claws under the white hair and dug toward the rock very quickly. Kaka. The sharp and piercing sound of digging canal suddenly rang out. I saw that the original hard rock, under the claw, was like a sponge, which was chiseled into gravel and dug open. Hua. The gravel flew out all around, and the hole in the ground became deeper and deeper. After a while, the white mouse disappeared. It's been a long time. There was no gravel splashing out of the cave. In the cave, it was too deep to see the bottom. If it wasn't for the sound of digging under the cave, I thought Mengbai had gone away by himself. Well, mouse, is it deep enough? If it's deep enough, dig inside. Don't dig deep all the time. Red Fire Dragon listened to that more and more deep, can't hear the sound of digging, finally can't help but pull up the big voice toward the black hole roar. The sound in the bottom hole is echoed by waves. As if half a day later, it came to Mengbai's ears, who had no idea how deep he had dug. You dead ex-dragon, do you mean to fool me? I'm going to dig into the area of Dian, or the boundary. Deep in the cave, after a long time, there was a roar that seemed to be extremely patient and angry. Have you reached the area of Dian? Isn't that about to enter the range above the Earth's core? How deep is that? On the ground of the Cloud Dance smell speech. The bottom of my heart cannot help but flash a touch of consternation and surprise. In addition to the amazement that the natural barrier actually extended to the bottom of the earth, there was also the surprise that Mengbai had dug to the depth of the earth. I thought that Mengbai's arrogance was due to his natural disposition, but now, it's estimated that Mengbai is really the high-level blood of the rat race. Boom. Suddenly, a strange earthquake wave came from deep underground. ZZ. Immediately followed by a burst of ZZ sound of oil boiling pot. What's the matter? Yunwu frowned and wanted to get close to the cave, but the next moment, a white shadow suddenly emerged from the cave, accompanied by a hot temperature, accompanied by a smell of burnt barbecue. Damn, you dead ex-dragon, I was really killed by you today. The roar is accompanied by the pain of gnashing teeth. At the moment when Yunwu saw Mengbai's appearance, it almost instantly reacted. The water element suddenly condensed and quickly covered Mengbai with Mars. ZZ. This time it was the sound of water pouring fire. Wait for the blue light to disappear. I can only see that the image of Mengbaina's powerful and cute big white mouse has been destroyed, and it's a bit miserable. The original snow-white hair. At this time, the whole body is burnt black, and the snow white has become dark yellow, especially some hair is as if it was burned a few gaps. With the healing of water, the fire goes out and the burned wound heals. However, the damage of hair cannot be recovered by water. It's kind of funny. Red Fire Dragon is a lung at first, but then can't help laughing. Haha. Die ex-dragon laugh fart. When Mengbai saw the destroyed hair on his body, he was about to vomit blood. Looking at the laughing Red Fire Dragon, He was so angry that his gum was about to bite off. However, the next second was a flash of white light, and the original shape of the white mouse turned into human shape. His clothes were like burnt rags, his hair was a little burnt, and the wound was gone. But his white hands seemed to leave a faint burnt scar. Perhaps Red Dragon also felt that it was immoral to laugh like this. When he saw his scarred hands, he stopped laughing. How can you be so embarrassed? Cloud Dance also frowns at him. How can you hurt so badly? Even if the healing of water element leaves scars, it can only show the severity of the wound. Dragon Qing evil at this time, evil spirit indifferent mouth. I'm afraid the ground is no way through. Of course, there's no way to pass. Only the stupid dragon can think of this way. If I didn't react quickly, I would have been scorched and crushed into pieces by the barrier just under the ground. Thinking that it was just deep in the cave, the underground temperature was too high to dig down. It tried to dig into the natural barrier. Can just dig a distance, directly hit the barrier range. After that, it was like Tianlei bumping into a mine, and almost didn't burn it to death. Thinking of it, Mengbai couldn't help sweating. Does the natural barrier completely extend to the region of Dian? Or even deeper? Red Fire Dragon rarely ignored his stupid dragon curse, but could not help silence. If you can't even get into the ground, what else can you do? It seems that Yunwu did not expect that the boundary of this natural barrier is so strange and powerful. But the light of ancient times was in the dragon tribe of Jiejia. Did you give up like this? Cloud Dance frowns. Can peace second, Cloud Dance abrupt turn head, squint at the man beside the eye. Don't you know transmission array? Let's use a teleport array. In fact, he didn't want to say it, and Yunwu didn't intend to expose him. But now there's really no way. Dragon Qingxia's mouth is filled with a smile to pick eyebrows. This little thing is really more and more powerful. Even that can know. Cloud Dance also looked at him with a smile, mouth slightly raised. However, the corners of her mouth were stained with a trace of sunran, like saying, "Don't play with me, don't admit to pretending to be stupid, don't eat that." Looking at the lovely appearance of Cloud Dance staring at her, Long Qingxia reluctantly flicked her forehead, like punishment. This kind of silent interaction between them seems to have been tacit understanding for a long time. To tell you the truth, I don't quite understand the teleport array. It was a fluke to succeed last time. What he said was the fact that the last time he was not given the secret script of the transmission array by Xiaomu, and told him how to use it and the incantation of those words, he could not use it at all. With the help of Xiaomu, the last teleportation was completed. Xiaomu checked it for a long time before sending someone to use it just in case. However, he has read the secret script, and there are some incantations in it that he can't understand. Xiaomu didn't seem to explain to him. Now if he is allowed to complete the construction of the teleport array, he is not 100% sure. How sure? Half. Half is enough. Try it or you can't help it. Anyway, you have to go in sooner or later. You have to die sooner or later. Cloud Dance is a rare free and easy smile. This sentence leads to a shudder and a few white eyes. But it was agreed by the other two people. If you want to destroy the Beast Gate, you'll have to take the risk sooner or later. What's more, even if they don't destroy the Beast Gate, it's estimated that the people of the Beast Gate won't let them live. Therefore, time for them are against the clock. Half the chance is good. Yes, it's better than letting me dig a hole in the ground. I almost got roasted. Dragon Qing Evil Gold Mao congealed Cloud Dance for a while, found that she did not have a trace of joking look, finally compromise. Good, I try. He will follow the little thing's decision no matter what. What's more, it seems that this is the only way now after hearing the words of Long Qingxia. The three people raised their lips slightly and stepped back together to make room for him. Next moment. In an instant, a black light flashed by, and the black haze around Long Qingxia's body enveloped him in the dark. Then he closed his golden eyes and his thin lips moved slightly, as if reading something. Da. As time went by, the strength around his body began to turn into silver. An ancient pattern like a ray was gradually deeply imprinted on the hard rock, and gradually began to build a transmission channel. Cloud Dance, three people looking at this strange scene. In the eyes all skim a touch of surprise. This is the transmission array? In that array, Long Qingxia, who was chanting a mantra to open up the channel, had sweat oozing from his forehead and lost his physical strength quickly. It seems that it takes a lot of energy to develop the array. Looking at the dragon, Cloud Dance can't help worrying. However, when the three were surprised, a silver force in the ancient pattern array suddenly pierced the border like Optimus Prime and went straight into it. That's the delivery channel? No time to let Cloud Dance three people think. The next second, three people were a powerful force into the transmission array. It's the same second we're in the transmission array. Long Qingxia's powerful long arm has already encircled Cloud Dance's waist. He always feels that the teleport array is not perfect, but he has tried his best. No matter what the result is, they must be together. Yunwu seemed to understand what he was worried about, so she hugged him in the same way. I believe you. In a word, it's very light, but with great trust. Long Qingxia's eyes are soft and evil spirit grins, but her hands around her waist are tighter. Next second, the silver light suddenly bloomed in the array, and the four figures disappeared in the transmission array on the rock. In the tunnel, the cylindrical silver transmission channel, like a protective layer that will not be destroyed, resists the oppression and edge brought by the border forces. The figure of the four, as if surrounded by the silver light protection, is rapidly passing through the channel. Through the silver protective layer, it seems that you can see faintly that the passage is like a dark cave, and in the front, you can see a little white dot. The white dot, with the rapid progress of speed, is getting bigger and bigger. That is the exit of the transmission array. In other people's eyes, the teleportation array may be the magic of reaching the other side in an instant. However, at this time, in the eyes of Yunwu and others, it is like entering the tunnel and being slowed down. There should be an exit ahead. In the silver protective light, the red dragon pointed to the white spot in front of it. In the past, he passed through the barrier by himself. Of course, he did not say that there was another world in the barrier. Anyway, you can see it later. But click. All of a sudden, a broken sound came out of the silent aperture. At first, Yunwu didn't find out, until came out a chagrin low roar. Damn it, transmission array appeared gap. Cloud Dance. A few people haven't reaction come over. Originally will a few people surrounded by silver light, suddenly in the dark broken and open. A powerful whirlpool directly sucked the four people of Yunwu and Long Qingxia into it. An invisible pressure instantly attacked the whole body of the four people. At that moment, the cloud dancing dragon was separated by the powerful and irresistible force. Long Qingxia. Little thing. Four people's startled voice, already disappeared in that dark whirlpool in an instant. The straight cylindrical transmission array was forced to decompose at that moment, and the four figures completely disappeared in the dark vortex. The four did not know what happened in the follow-up. They only remembered that in the huge whirlpool, under the strong and strange pressure, their consciousness was gradually blurred. And in the hazy consciousness, Yunwu seems to see faintly that many dry bones are piled up in the darkness of the whirlpool. It's like a dark graveyard black hole where all bones are dead. It's not deep, but it's creepy. This whirlpool is not the end of those who want to pass the border, is it? Do they really want to stay here in their last place? Oh, it's a good home not to be disturbed in the end. Yunwu's consciousness completely fell into darkness. It's very quiet here. Occasionally a gust of wind swept. Yellow sand flying rotation, with the sound of gravel friction landing. How hot. Consciousness is still wandering in the boundless darkness of the clouds, feeling as if they were thrown into the oven in general. Extremely uncomfortable. Well. Lying on the sand, the clouds suddenly hummed. Tightly closed eyes trembled for a while. The next second, eyebrows tightly locked up. What's going on? How did she feel like she was falling apart? And she was in great pain everywhere. Shusha. A blast of hot air came with the sound of gravel rubbing. Finally, Cloud Dance's strong support slowly opened his eyes. But when I saw a piece of yellow sand in front of me, I was stunned. How? Cloud Dance just wanted to mutter something, but did not expect a gust of wind swept into a mouth of sand. Ba. Yunwu quickly propped up his painful body, sat up and cleaned up the sand in his mouth. But soon, when the cloud dance is to be seen in front of everything to Zhongleng, the whole person seems to be in an instant reaction. The visual effect of yellow rolling can't see the edge at a glance, except for the yellow sand all over the sky, or the yellow sand, you can't see any other colors at all. Even the sky seems to be yellow. Under the dazzling sun, the high-temperature Lingbo light covered the whole desert ground. The heat is endless, as if it can almost steam people. This is a desert? What's going on? She doesn't fall in love with them, by the way. When they were in the transmission array suddenly broke the gap for no reason. And then they think of here, Cloud Dance suddenly twisted eyebrows. How are they? Will it be okay? Here is it the dragon? The cloud dances to lift the mouth toward all around to sweep one eye. All around don't see a bit of human figure, also don't have the appearance of life existence at all, let alone the trace of flying dragon. According to Gao Aolong's attitude, it is absolutely impossible to survive in this harsh desert. So where is this? Shouldn't she have been dumped somewhere else under the impact of the teleport? Or did she cross again? The more Yunwu thought about it, the more agitated and inexplicable he was. Anyway, get out of here first. Cloud Dance slightly frowned, just want to stand up, but in the middle of the station and fell in midair. Pain, she covered her chest and frowned tightly. The position of the chest, as if by countless needle into the general, pain her straight air conditioning. What's going on? Yunwu almost subconsciously wants to adjust the breath and look inside to see how his body is. However, as soon as she tried to use Yuanli, she felt a pain in her body. Her breath was unsteady, her throat was sweet, and blood overflowed from the corners of her mouth. How could that be? Cloud Dance stretched out his hand to wipe the blood on the corner of his mouth, and his eyes flashed with consternation. Just when she tried to use the power, Yunwu found that the power could not be used. As soon as the power appeared, it was as if it was oppressed by something, and it disappeared in an instant. Moreover, it seems that the more she wants to force it up, the stronger the pressure is. That is to say, her power is oppressed? How could that be? Girl, this is the top of the desert at the border of the dragon tribe. Your body has been impacted by the power of the teleportation array, and you have suffered some internal injuries, so don't force the transportation for the time being. Internal injuries? No wonder she is tingling all over. It is estimated that she has suffered a lot of internal injuries in her body, and her breath is unstable. However, he said that this is the top of the desert at the border of the dragon people, so she's in the dragon family? But without waiting for the cloud dance to ask the exit, the tornado in the chaos hall suddenly flashed a piece of information. The top of the desert. It is a lonely space between the dragon and the border. It does not belong to the dragon. It belongs to the abandoned Sanwuzi, the dragon, Shangjia, Fenghuang, etc. The people who appear in the top of the desert are usually evil people who are driven away by their own ethnic groups or commit crimes. In other words, the top of the desert is a place full of good and bad people. Everyone has it. But the only characteristic is that people on the top of the desert have no home to return to, or are abandoned. After digesting this information, Yunwu somehow calmed down. Perhaps, it was because she knew that this place was such a mode of existence that she had a bottom in her heart. Or maybe because she felt that this place was too similar to the place where she lived in her previous life. Because in her previous life, she was an abandoned orphan. If she wanted to live, she could only become a cold-blooded killer, trampling on other people's bodies to live. Otherwise, she could only be trampled on her own bodies. In fact, there seems to be no difference between her former life and the so-called villain here. After pondering for a moment, Yunwu put his mind away. Hayo, since you know this is the top of the desert, do you know how big this place is? She and Long Qingxia, Mengbai and Red Fire Dragon are scattered in the transmission array. Since she has fallen to the top of the desert, should Long Qingxia also be on the top of the desert? If the top of the desert is not big, it will be easy to find. However, Hayo was silent for a while before he was able to find the way. I came once a long time ago, and I don't know the top of the desert now, but it took me about 8 days to fly from one end to the other in my prime. About 8 days? Or was it flying in its heyday? Yunwu was a little surprised. So it's a slim chance to find dragons at the top of the desert? However, with Dragon's ability, she is all right, then they will be all right. If you can't find them on the top of the desert, you can wait for them when you go to the Dragon Tribe. Because their goal is Dragon Tribe. Cloud Dance thought of this, the heart is more settled. However, it seems that the situation is not optimistic at the top of the desert. Black Ao suddenly opens his mouth. What do you say? The clouds frown. You don't feel it yourself? The black pride in the Hall of Chaos, the red eyes under the black fog, slightly asked. Cloud Dance assign lung, but the next second but frown up. Indeed, after she woke up, in addition to the pain of internal injury, she always felt that her chest was stuffy, and the feeling that her strength was suppressed became more and more clear. You can see that the power in my body has been suppressed. Is there any way to solve it? In this place, if the power is suppressed, you will be unprepared for the danger. She clearly felt that not only the power was suppressed, but also the connection with the little stinky beast seemed to be suppressed. Except for Hayo. No way. The pressure is from the natural barrier. As long as you leave the top of the desert, you will be okay. That's bullshit. Cloud Dance can't help but roll a white eye, and then look back at the desert. I saw the same yellow sand all around, and the sun was overhead, so I couldn't tell the direction at all. How do you know which side is the direction of the dragon? Moreover, the desert has a strong pressure. Even Jinling can't fly, and the contract beast can't summon her. Her power is suppressed again. Does it come true that she wants to walk with 2 legs? Looking at the area of the desert, I can't walk out for a month or two. Think of here. Cloud Dance can't help but forehead black line straight down. And even if she could walk on 2 legs, how long would she last without water or food? It's true that she has everything in her space, but she doesn't prepare water and food, because those dragons are always ready, so she doesn't have to worry at all. This, on the contrary, led her into such a dilemma. In which direction is the dragon clan? At last Yunwu asked. Just follow the direction of the sun setting. In fact, Hayo hasn't been here for a long time, but in my memory, the direction of the sun setting in the west is roughly where the dragon is locked. The west? Cloud Dance looks at the boundless desert, with a faint helplessness between eyebrows. In the case of no water and no food, after walking for a month or two, her body must have been air-dried and buried. Cloud Dance is not reconciled, and secretly want to try to summon a few small stinky beasts again. But I found that the pressure on the top of the desert had already oppressed her Yuan Li, not to mention the contract beast. Even the Jinling could not summon and resist thinking about it. Looking at the endless top of the desert, the Cloud danced heavily with a sigh. After taking out a pill from the space and throwing it into his mouth, Yunwu walks towards the dragon nationality. Up to now, we have to go first. Boundless desert, dust flying, the foot of the yellow sand cackle, flutter hit in the face a little pain. The temperature is abnormally high, and the whole body is very hot. But the pace is still moving forward step by step, towards the goal, direction. The sun gradually goes down to the west. On the top of the vast desert, the figure of Cloud dancing is like a little finger, extremely small, and the sense of self-existence decreases instantly. Walking for nearly an afternoon, the water seems to have been evaporated. Yunwu felt thirsty, his lips cracked and his feet were exhausted. Although every time she walked a certain distance, she lavishly swallowed a healing pill as a candy, but in the end, the internal injury could not be cured all at once, and her physical strength was not as good as before. Her speed is getting slower and slower, which can almost be called tortoise speed. In addition to the occasional wind and sand, it seems that there is only the sound of her stepping on the yellow sand step by step. How hot! How quiet! Tired until the sky began to gradually enter the twilight. Kung! The sound of the long sword splashing out suddenly came from somewhere. Cloud suddenly stopped. Black's look instantly condensed up. Someone. In his spare time, Yunwu's eyes flashed and lurked in the direction of the sound source. Yes, it's latent. The body, which had been dragged long and powerless, turned into a wild leopard in the desert like a chicken's blood in an instant. After hibernating, it flashed away at a silent but rapid speed. That speed and posture, really don't see. She was injured not long ago to a capacity on the spitting blood patient. It's so hard to meet people in the desert. In particular, she walked all afternoon today and didn't see any people. Now she met her, so she couldn't let it go. Because she really needs some water now. After a while, the figure of Cloud Dance has been quietly lying on a desert hill, cold eyes staring at the fight below. Yes, it was a fight. However, the scene seemed different from what she had seen before. A dozen odd-looking people? Beast? In any case, it's something that looks like a man and a beast, which is surrounded by a group of people who seem to be caravans. They were fighting like fighting, and the orc's target seemed to be bags of things escorted by the caravan. As for what things, there are still some distance between the Cloud Dance is not very clear. That you're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.